Ayo, yeah, that's B-Eazy, that's the name. Way before the world knew he was running the game. Laid the groundwork, built the foundation strong. Been influencing the whole scene all along. Now everybody gotta give that man his praise. A living legend for the rest of his days. Oh, he deserves all the accolades, yeah. B-Eazy, B-Eazy, gotta give that man his praise. A living legend for the rest of his days. Oh, he deserves all the accolades. B-Eazy, B-Eazy, ooh, B-Eazy. He got that certain kind of profile, smooth and effortless style. He's so fresh, makes the whole room stop and stare a while. Hear him asking, who's that? Mama, there he goes again. The way he moves, you know he's gonna win. Oh, you ain't know? That's just B-Eazy. B-Eazy Dat Dude. That man right there. B-Eazy. We all here to see B-Eazy. We wanna listen to B-Eazy. Ayy, we all like B-Eazy. Nah, matter of fact, we love B-Eazy. Believe me, he really that dude. Subscribe to the channel, it's easy to do. If you care, then go ahead and share this fire content, extraordinarily rare. That's why I put that on my mama, he is that dude. And I put that on my daddy, he is that dude. So.
B-Eazy Dat Dude. B-Eazy Dat Dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the boardroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy Dat Dude. Yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the boardroom, you gotta stand the rain. Big block engine with 26 inches on the chrome I ride. Started at the bottom, soared to the top and still on the ride. Air handshake solid, seal the deal airtight. He gave you the blueprint to grind and get your hustle right. Money in the vision, it was dirty but he washed it clean. Turned a dollar to a dream, now he living like a king. From the late nights grinding to the early bird moves. Ask around the city, he really that dude. He love how we talk it cause he walk it too. Every step calculated, everything come through. From the hood by the views, yeah, the rooftop views. He the bridge between the struggle and the good life views. Never fold under pressure, shine like a diamond in the sun. Every loss was a lesson, every win is hard won. Now the crowd chant his name when he steps in the room. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah, you know he's the truth. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the boardroom, you gotta stand the rain. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah, they know the name. Stacking up the paper, but having money ain't a thing. Standing on business, burning hotter than a flame. From the block to the boardroom, you gotta stand the rain.
La ciencia.
Me, myself, and I still pushing forward, I'm ahead like die. Standing on my flow with my head to the sky. Pass on a bitch, young rip, drop dimes. It's been a rough road, gotta look for the signs. I'm married to this music, so I cook for my bride. Flip out like a skateboarder, look how I grind. It took a long time, but I'm right on time. I'm progressing, that's progressive, I got bars like a correction. Still chasing petty cash, that's a mantis. I want extra, I stop searching for my pops. I hold my nuts just like a checkup. I get physical, I'm copping just like Interpol. I play on words like a syllable to for me, the world is fading. Hold this L just like a Laker, like a birthday, my shit caking. It get messy like an apron. I pick out just like some bacon, and I sizzle like it too. Can't forget about you, boo. It feel like we on a loop. Same shit, different day. I don't know what's really true. I get high as I leave hoops. Who gon' give me what I'm owed? Man, I guess nobody knew. And I know that money talks, so what it said is probably true. It's the feeling that I get, and the shit I'll probably do to get through or get by. I get fly, cause I'm Jeff Goldblum in my mind. Tell them hoes to fall in line. If you thought I fell off, bitch, I'm back like my spine. Hot as homemade pie. That's the pro rate, ma. I'm a pro, ain't I? Sniff it out like K9s. I'm a thief, it take time to be great. I'm Bayside. I get blue like Kelly Parker. When I'm gone, I left a mark. Tell them fish I'm still a shark. I will embark on this journey till it's finished. In the midst of all this friction, I got vision on my P's like no limit. Like a mouse, now we clicking. I go out for the spinach, that's business.
Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above, we used to feel like a glove. I still think about the you that only exists in my brain. Nothing ever stays the same. Guess it's just a shame. With no one to blame.
Stop looking for somebody else to lay the blame. Without a wave of change, life stays the same. So when I pull up to your spot, I'm with a paradigm chick. Only used to have one and it's my paradigm ship. Calls for celebration, I cracked a hand. I took a hiatus, but I'm back again. A bunch of blue face hunters, I've been stacking them. Cause in the game of life, I just have to win. So when I'm in go mode, I be ballin' insane. Tried to walk away, they was calling my name. My brothers from another, we are all in the game. Don't give a fuck about clout nor all of the fame. I'm trying to inspire, empower, build and progress at a steady rate. Move heavyweight like a Bowflex. The haters make me greater, they mad, I got them so stressed. Shock my style for a while now, I can show text. Screenshots as proof and receipts. You a certified clown, been a goof in the streets. Angel made the beat, but this my demon flow. Get a lot of love from people I don't even know. And when the situation's ugly like Dudley, we do right. Fuck propaganda, let's conquer and unite. The wait's over, take over, it's commencing. My money fully grown, but yours like an infant. But that ain't no shade to you, it's just provision and protection, what you made to do. Being a man with a purpose, who you supposed to be. Living life as a loser, that's a joke to me. FN 509, stay close to me. If I pull it, I'ma spray like some potpourri. I don't wanna have to go there, so hopefully you don't try to have no beef or no smoke with me. Bro, everything I'm talking about, be backing it up. I'm back in the cuts, rapping the Dutch and macking the hut. She start to get aroused when I'm smacking her butt. Baby got stupid cheeks and she be clapping it up. I'ma enter through the front and hit the back of her guts. She a classy lady, but be acting a slut when we be kissing and cuddling. My bitch like to hug. Her box customized so it fit like a glove. Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy Dat Dude, an impromptu stream back with another one. This one is gonna be a banger. Controversial topics, so it will be a doozy. I don't like to keep y'all waiting. So before we get this thing started, I gotta hit ya.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民と言っても実際ぐらいです。もう友達できたの？うん。
like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks is showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, moving for me slow-mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy Dat Dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji eating tandoori and chicken curry, that ism is really indie. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of better. And we are activated. And since Cloudness is getting a little anxious, it's actually 3:49. The show says it starts at 3:50. So I'm actually early. And if you ain't early, then you're late. But before I get into this, we've been joined by some illustrious guests. Chakra King, where you been, bruh? You been in hiding, but salute to Chakra King Black, Roger Meadows, the East Coast finest, Mr. Nassau County, and Roger Meadows. You know what I gotta ask? Where Brooklyn at? But then again, do I really gotta ask it? Because it looks like Brooklyn, the Brownsville bully, Cloudness, 457 in building. So salute to y'all, and it's all good, Cloudness. You know what I mean? I gotta, hey, and right now it's 350 on the nose, and we starting on the nose. Bada boom, bada bam. We gonna get right into it, and I'm gonna react to a video from the sister, Sabby Sab, Sabrina Salvati. She's killing it over there on her podcast. It looks like she just crossed 400K subscribers. It seemed like it was just yesterday we were celebrating that she had 100K subscribers, and now she had already put 300 more K on top of that with some change. So salute to Sabrina Salvati, Sabby Sab. She is doing her thing over there. So let me go ahead and pull this up. And as I'm reacting to the video, I will be going back and forth from the view like this, just so y'all know. So this particular video she is reacting to is Don Lemon. Well, the video is titled Don Lemon Interview with Kamala is Wild. Now, I don't support Don Lemonade. He is a sour puss. He is a buck broken bozo. And not because he's dumb. He just plays dumb because he's a corporate shill and a tool for the establishment. So because the mainstream lamestream media kicked Don Lemonade to the curb, Don Lemon wants to try to pretend like he's down with the brothers, he's down with the grassroots, but he spent most of his time on the biggest stages denigrating the black community, you know, saying simple stuff and tropes that we've heard. Pull your pants up, Pookie, pick up that trash, all this other type of stuff, right? Don Lemon was on record saying that, hey, when I live in white neighborhoods, there's no trash. But when I live in black neighborhood, they just throw trash everywhere. Like, and, you know, some will say that's true, but like, what black neighborhood was he in? And because he was in a neighborhood that allegedly happened, now that speaks for all black neighborhoods. It's just like I went to some white neighborhoods where a bunch of white people were meth out. So does that mean because the meth heads in this white neighborhood, does that represent white people across the entire country? No, that would be bigoted to say. But suddenly people are okay when you said about the black community. So that's who Don Lemon is. And we already know who Kamami, the head tether in charge. If Obama is the head, you know, well, Obama is the head tether in charge and Kamami is the tether queen. You know what I mean? Because like Trump said, one day she suddenly just became black. You know what I mean? And whether you believe she's black or not, I don't. But, you know, let's just concede and say that Kamala is black. That would be irrelevant because she's not a foundational black American. And then even if she was, it would still be irrelevant because she says she wouldn't do anything specifically to help the black community. So you know what? I don't give a dang about Kamala Harris. She's done things and advocated for things that specifically help Jewish people. Kamala has advocated and done things that specifically help Asians, that specifically help non-citizens, undocumented people. But when it comes to black people, nope. Can't do anything. That's only for you. So when it's us, everyone has to be able to leech and tether onto our accomplishments, our resources, but everyone else gets to reserve their resources specifically for them. Nah, yeah, those days of us just silently allowing the disrespect, those days are over. So it looks like we've been joined by Red 6 in the mix like Twix. What it do? Let's get into it. And like Cloudness says, for reals though, Sabby is killing it. Salute to her. She is, you know, she is on top of her game. So let's get into it. And like I said, this is... Are you going there with it? Cloudness, are you being misogynistic? Are you being misogynistic with that? Because some people say the cum swallow Harris, you know, and some people say that she slept her way to the top. And, you know, there's allegations of misogyny. And speaking of Obama, Barack Tether Obama, he said rhetoric like this proved that black men were misogynistic because they didn't want to vote for a black woman. Interesting. And somehow that was supposed to motivate us. Obama going and wagging his finger at us was somehow supposed to motivate us to vote blue no matter who. Let's get into it.
So Kamala Harris had an interview with Don Lemon just recently. And I have to say, Don Lemon really helped walk her through this interview. He really did. You know, he was helping her, and you'll be able to see what I mean here. But ultimately, what I really noticed about this interview was that Kamala still would not be ready to be president if she were running again today. And then also, there seems to be no accountability for Kamala when she's doing these interviews. So while she avoided many of these podcasts during her presidential campaign in 2024.
And just to be clear, you can watch this video uninterrupted on Sabby Sab's channel. I will have to pause it, etc. So I make the content transformative and so that it's not inauthentic. So I will be bouncing back and forth from the screen just like that. So just to let y'all know. And Roger says, she had sex with a frog from Courageous, Cat and Minute Mouse named Willie. I believe you're talking about Kamala Harris. She threw the curry cat around and got to the top. She was throwing around that Punjabi, that Punjabi punani. Let's get into it though. She was busting it open, you know, with the biryani booty. Let's get into it, though.
She is appearing on some of them now. And let's see what she said here when she brings up, this is really sad, but she brings up Juneteenth, and it's what she connects it to that really bothered me. Listen to this.
Juneteenth is a day for us to not only reflect and remember history, but to then think about how that translates to where we each are in this moment as part of that legacy. And part of the way I think about it is that Juneteenth.
And just to be clear, Kamala, you're not a part of that legacy, right? And this is where the thing, and unfortunately, many of us have had our head in the sand, and others, we just allow the disrespect, the culture vulturing, the cultural leeches and vampires to just be tethering for too long, right? I commend the people in Haiti or Haiti who stood on business during 1804, right? And some people like to fixate on 1804, but they don't like to talk about the sellouts. They're like, hey, we was the first free black nation. We was the first free black nation. We was the first free black nation, right? They say that until they're blue in the face, some of them. And then they don't tell you about how the first free so-called black nation was sold out by their own people. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to try to leech and tether on to and say, hey, look, because some Haitian descendants stood on business in 1804, this is our history and our legacy. No, it's not. It's Haitian history, and it's part of the Haitian legacy, which is something that's very prominent and rich for their culture. Not everyone, because they have a certain level of melanin, should be trying to claim the liberation of 1804. But if you are going to tell that story, you need to tell the whole story. Don't just tell me the liberation part. Tell me the treacherous and the treasonous part of their own people selling them out. Right. So when we're talking about Juneteenth is about America. Juneteenth has nothing to do with the Caribbean. It has nothing to do with Africa. It's about, for one, the country of America, and then the state of Texas, and then the city of Galveston. But because we're foundational Black Americans and we're on code, when you stand on business for an American city, an American state, in the country of America, since we are foundational Black American freedmen, we uplift and uphold that. That's our legacy here in America. Now, everyone could marvel at it. Everyone could participate in the holiday. Everyone could partake in it. But the days of people just tethering and saying, because you have certain level of melanin, we did this, and this is our legacy in us. Like, huh? When'd you start speaking French? But we've been joined by Mr. 350. The big block boat rider, Big Rig Slaps. What it did it do? And Cloudness says, I'm sick of this drunk B-I-E-I-E-I-itch. Bro, brace yourselves, because this one will be a doozy. I got some stuff cooked up for you. And JF says, America. Salute to America. You said Trump doesn't need a presidential library. He or his dumb cult followers can't read. So here we have someone suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. And this is a B1 space. It's specifically, let me correct that. This is a F1 space. Freedmen first, and to be more poignant, FBA1. Foundational Black American first space. Now, I'm an American, so I love my country, and I'm a humanitarian, so I love everyone. However, I have to put my community first. I have to put my country first. I have to make sure we're straight so that we can continue to help, uplift, enrich others like we always have done. Now, you coming in talking about Trump, I don't support Trump. I didn't vote for Trump. Just as well as I don't support Kamami, didn't vote for her. I didn't vote for Biden, and I didn't vote for Obama. Both parties are the same. Two cheeks on the same booty, two fangs on the same viper. So as much as you saying Trump doesn't need this, Trump doesn't need a presidential library. And Obama didn't need that center either. We're supposed to be celebratory because Obama opened up a center. That center looks beautiful. It looks amazing. What does that do for the Black community? Not a damn thing. He had a bunch of Black people there dancing. The Black people dancing while they're being displaced in Chicago. But hey, Obama has a center. Okay. Everyone in the chat that's Black right now. Obama built a new center. What has that done for you? What has that done for your son? What has that done for your family? What has Obama creating a center done to lower gas costs? Don't worry. I'll wait. Let's get back into it.
Of course, was a day that there was a celebration of freedom, but the freedom that they celebrated was the promise of freedom in its full context, which includes the right to vote. And when we look at being weeks after the
are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. So now, hey, Kamami.
Bitch, are you high? Are you high?
Hold on, let me pull this down so y'all can see this one more again. Hey, Kamami.
Bitch, are you high? Are you high?
And I gotta hit her.
What? Ho, please. Nigga, please. Ho.
Nigga, what?
Nigga. Nigga, please. Nigga, please. What?
And this is what I'm saying. We don't want anyone outside of the lineage speaking for us. There's people that are from the lineage that are sambos and tap dancers and step and fetch it goofballs. We don't want them speaking for us either. Kamala Harris is not a part of our lineage. Juneteenth is not a part of her lineage, so we don't want her speaking on it. She's over here trying to rewrite and reframe history. So really think about this, right? There were people who were formerly enslaved. They just found out they were freed from slavery. And you think that the first thing they said, oh, yes, Lord, we free from slavery. Now we can vote. Vote. Is that what we think really happened? Just really think right now. Many of you guys have had ancestors that were connected to the slave trade or that were connected to Jim Crow. Do you think the people that were lynched had family members hanging in trees and they were just saying, if only we had the right to vote? Look at our poor babies getting lynched in the tree. All we need is our right to vote. That's what Kamami is saying. People who were slaved, people who were formerly enslaved, once they got out of slavery and got their freedom, all they thought about was voting blue no matter who. This is wild, bruh. I see why Sabby titled it that way. Let's get back into it, though. This is rather disgusting.
Part of the way I think about it is that Juneteenth, of course, was a day that there was a celebration of freedom, but the freedom that they celebrated was the promise of freedom in its full context, which includes the right to vote. And when we look at being weeks after the Calais decision, we look at what's happening across the country in terms of this attempt to cheat around what so many of these Republican governors started, which is redistricting, and then Democratic governors had to back it up. When you look at what's happening in the South, where there is an attempt to...
So even right there, she admitted that both parties are doing it, right? But she's just saying the Republicans started it, which is a lie. They both have the redistrict, and the Democrats, including Jim Sambo Clyburn, he worked with the Republicans to redistrict so that he would be the kingmaker and the only kind of reigning black politician in South Carolina. So the Democrats have always done redistricting. Even in the 90s, Bill Clinton and some of these other people, they did redistricting to disenfranchise the black community while they pretend like the black community is their backbone. So right there, she admitted it. Yeah, the Republicans did a redistricting and it was bad when they did that. So the Democrats had to do redistricting. Hold on, but we only did it in response to the Republicans. So make sense. The Republicans redistrict, but that was bad. And then the Democrats did the same thing, but that was good. Redistricting is bad when the Republicans do it, but it's good when the Democrats do it. Yeah, it's good when the Democrats do it because the Democrats did it in response to the Republicans. Make it make sense. You can't, because it doesn't. Both of these parties do the same thing.
Really marginalize black voters, black and brown voters in many of those states. I think June.
Here we go again. She said black voters and then she couldn't resist. No, black voters. No. Black and brown. Black and brown. Like what brown voters are being disenfranchised? See, and this is what they always do. Black, blackity black, black.
right? They say black everything, but then when it's time to dole out some resources, black and brown, black and people of color. So we don't even know who the hell they're talking about. All of the redistricting they said has hurt black neighborhoods. What brown neighborhoods are harmed by this? Oh no, it hasn't harmed any brown neighborhoods, but it could. So you're trying to project that, you're trying to estimate that. You can clearly say what black neighborhoods have been weakened by this. And then they turn around and say, oh, this is to harm black and brown. But there's no browns that they can say who have been harmed. And many of these so-called browns identify as racially white. So what browns are we really talking about? Most black people are brown. Foundational black Americans are not black. None of their skin is black. So they're not saying that they're black skinned. They're saying that that is their ethnonym, their ethnic and cultural identifier. Many foundational black Americans are not just brown, they're yellow, hence the term red bone. So when she's saying black and brown communities, what brown people is she talking about? Is she talking about the brown community like AOC? AOC is not brown. She's Latina. Yeah, but she's not a brown Latina. I mean, is J-Lo brown? Is Selena Gomez brown? So who the hell are they talking about when they say brown? You don't know, and that's the point. It's just supposed to be vague and nebulous, and you start to assume who they're talking about, but you don't definitively know.
15th is a moment for us to remember that the fight for justice, for equality lives on, sadly. And we who celebrate those wonderful moments that are part of the tradition of Juneteenth must also dedicate ourselves to the action that we are all have a duty to perform to make the promise of America real.
I give myself 24 hours and
Okay, so that was just a whole lot of brain dead, bloviating, baby bop, bimbo babble. What the hell did she say? In Juneteenth? And it was around the right to vote. No, it wasn't. People who were newly freed from enslavement wasn't clicking their heels for the right to vote. And then when they always talk about the right to vote, okay, fine. They say your ancestors died for the right to vote, right? And they're always talking about foundational Black American ancestors, right? They never look to Asians and say, hey, your ancestors died for the right to vote, because they didn't. So why don't they say, hey, your ancestors immigrated here for you to have the right to vote? Why don't they always say that? And then when I say, you know what, I agree with you. So since my ancestors died for the right for me to vote, I'm going to vote for the Republicans, or I'm going to vote for the Libertarians or the third party. Then they start to, start whining about that. So they pretend as if it's about the vote, but it's about you putting your vote for the Democrats. They don't want you to have any autonomy voting, right? They love to say vote, vote, vote. Voting rights are being stripped. Okay, cool. I don't want my voting rights stripped, so I'm going to vote for the party that I believe is going to protect them. And that's going to be the Green Party. Then suddenly they start to call you stupid and all this stuff. So when they're pushing for you to vote, all they're saying is vote for one of the other parties, and it's usually vote blue no matter who. Vote blue no matter who and no matter what. They're not going to offer you anything. But all of these other oligarchs and institutions, they operate off quid pro quo. Yes, I will vote for you once you promise and propose something for me to vote for. But all they want you to vote for is symbolism and things that you didn't ask for. Hey, we erected a George Floyd statue. No one was asking for that, though. So who was that for?
Oh, move out the way, Dawn. Here's the problem, right? So he was asking her about Juneteenth, just happened on Friday. What bothered me with her response is that she connected it to the right to vote, right? Instead of connecting it to so many other issues. it's that same message that you get from the Democratic Party, where it's like they come to you and they say, civil rights are under attack. We got to vote. I have yet to hear one word from these Democrat politicians about the police officer who just killed the 1-year-old little boy.
And you know who else you haven't heard anything from? Any people of color, right? They love to. And matter of fact, where are all of the the communists? Where are all the communists and the Marxists and the socialists and all this stuff? A police officer shot and fatally unalived a 1-year-old baby for allegedly because their mom stole some diapers. And then it turns out allegedly that the diapers were paid for, but let's just say that the diapers were stolen. All of these pro-life people are willing to be silent when a rogue cop chimps out and shoots a young, beautiful 1-year-old over some alleged stolen diapers. Stealing diapers is not a death sentence, right? None of the lefties are talking about it. All of these people who love to talk about defund the police and abolish the police, where are they at? They're too busy worried about Gaza. And think about this. They care about a baby in Gaza being shot by the IDF, but you don't care about a baby in America getting shot by the police and you're American. So that's what I'm saying. They won't. And look, I'm a humanitarian, so I don't want to see the genocidal maniacs in Israel bomb Gaza or Lebanon or Syria or any of these other places. However, that's not a kitchen table issue for me. I can compartmentalize and say it's disgusting what's going on, but I need to focus on my community. Me fixating on what's going on in Gaza is not doing anything to put food on my table. It's not doing anything to pay my utility bill. It's not doing anything with car insurance, health insurance. But you've been convinced to always be looking to what's going on in a foreign nation. Meanwhile, your babies are being gunned down in the streets. Right. And because it was a little black kid that died, it's like, oh, well, does anyone think that heads wouldn't be rolling if that was a little Jewish baby that got shot? Forget a Jewish baby. If that was a non-citizen and that was an undocumented baby. So if it was a Jewish baby, there would be outrage. If it was an undocumented citizen, there would be outrage. If there was an Asian baby, there would be outrage. But since it was a little black baby, the pro-lifers, the leftists, the socialists, the Marxists, the communists, they have nothing to say. Why do you have to make it about race? No, you're the one who's making it about race. That's why you don't give a damn, because of the race of the baby, right? And that's why we have no allies. Groups don't have allies. They have interest, right? Your baby is being gunned down in the street. But what about Gaza? Okay. Let's get back into it.
You have to hear one word. Juneteenth is the celebration of the freeing of slaves.
Looks like we got some low IQ lunatic comments in the chat. I present to you Exhibit J. James Garrison will tell me what the Republicans offer. So here we go again with the Republicans is bad. Okay, fine. I didn't vote for the Republicans. I never said that the Republicans were offering anything. The fact that you're framing this as what are they offering? What are you offering yourself? You haven't even offered to put a profile pic, but what are you offering the community, bro? Let's hear your grand ideas, because neither party is offering anything. The Republicans is offering you their butt cheeks to kiss, and the Democrats is offering to stab you in the back while pretending like you're their friend. Neither party is coming to save you. You should be organizing in your own community rather than trying to hope and pray and cross your fingers and wish on a twinkle twinkle little star that the Democrats are going to hopefully pass some policy. They've already shown their disdain for you, right? The Democrats have moved on from you. The Democrats' sole focus is on undocumented non-citizens, trans and LGBT issues, and immigrants. That's what their focus is, not on you. They'll use the Black pain and plight and trauma to say, hey, here, let's galvanize people to vote so we can usher in this agenda, right? You still haven't realized that because you're too blinded by voting blue no matter who. And Andrew said Don Lemon should be in jail. Well, maybe he should, maybe he shouldn't. Zimmerman should be in jail. Do you believe Zimmerman should be in jail? If Don Lemon should be in jail, so should Zimmerman and so should Kyle Rittenhouse. So if you can concur with that, then that's a fair statement. Let Trump do what he needs to do and the country is going to be great again. So are you saying if the country is going to be great again, are you saying that it's what? Horrible now? Is it bad? Are you saying that the country is not great now? But what exactly is Trump doing to make the country great? Gas is over $6. Is that great? Your kids and your grandkids can't afford a home. Is that good? I'm just saying, rent are the highest prices it's ever been. Is that good? Housing cost. The average house is over $400,000 nationwide. Is that good? So all of these things that you're saying, Trump is going to make America great again, but yet you haven't said anything specifically that he's done or that he's doing. I'm not saying that he hasn't said or tried to implement some things that are incrementally better or marginally better, but he was talking in a very boisterous, bloviating manner, and much of his policies are incoherent, ineffective, and feckless. So there's really not much to praise about this Trump presidency. Republicans offer the chance to make abortion illegal and stop the genocide of the Black community. Now, Diva, don't play. I don't know if you're Black. You know what I mean? Because that does matter. Because sometimes what happens is a bunch of non-Black people, they try to act like we care about abortions in the Black community. But then when those Black babies are born, they have all sorts of racial tropes and negative epithets about the babies. So then when the babies are aborted, then they just say, why'd you abort the baby? And then when the people don't abort the baby, y'all welfare queens, and why y'all having all them babies? And they start getting into eugenics and all this stuff. Now, people shouldn't really pay attention to this rhetoric. However, the people that are pushing this rhetoric are very pathetic, and they're also just disingenuous. I can't really respect someone who claims to be pro-life when you're really pro-birth. They want chicks to pop out a baby, but then when the baby comes out, there's no such thing as a free lunch. But they don't mind giving billions and billions to Israel, right? But then they'll tell a little baby there's no such thing as a free lunch. You know what I mean? So many of these pro-life wackos who pretend to care about abortion in the Black community, I mean, you got to get your act together. But I am vehemently against that as well, you know, because there is a form of eugenics. Someone crosses the border and they're like, here, we'll help you have a baby. And then in the Black community, it's like, here, we'll help you abort your baby. So that's something I can't respect. But we've also been joined by the hardest working mod on YouTube. Vibrant, where you been? Where you been? Salute to Vibrant Lowell. The SAVE Act will show people that there's not as many Dems in the country as there is Republicans. That's why they don't want the SAVE Act. Well, Barney, salute to Barney. I think people are getting too fixated on these teams. The Republicans don't give a hoot about you, Barney. So people are willing to crash out. Like, people love to talk about the Crips and the Bloods, but the two most prominent gangs in America, there's three prominent gangs. The biggest, baddest gang is the Boys in Blue, the law enforcement. After that is the Republicans and the Democrats, right? Who do you think is more powerful, Crips or Republicans? Who do you think is more powerful, Bloods or Democrats? The Crips and Bloods don't have a political apparatus behind them. They don't have lobbying efforts, oligarchs, and plutocrats, you know, that they can call at the drop of a dime. So these are the gangs that are running the country, and people like be kind of gang banging over politics, but neither party cares about you. You see, both parties are selling you out. They care about power, and all power respects is other power and violence, right? You can't go try to read a bunch of Bible scriptures and say, you guys are bad. The teachings in the scriptures say you shouldn't do that, right? Do you think that that's going to enact change, or you hypothetically enacting some level of violence, imposing some level of violence, whether it be physical, financial, or whatever? Now, I'm not advocating for this. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen, right? If you're getting bullied at school and beat up and thrown into a locker, do you think that you're going to be able to check that bully by reading him Bible scriptures? Thou shalt says you shouldn't do that. Do you think that's going to stop the bully, or you kicking the bully in the nuts and punching him and breaking his nose? Which actions do you think is going to deter the bully from behaving like a thuggish brute? Let's get back into the video.
In United States. Her focus for that is the right to vote. See, this is why, and I hate to go there again, but this needs to be said. So, first of all, of everything that has happened, from chattel slavery, everything that happened with Jim Crow laws in the South, which my family is very familiar with because that's where my family is from. Her family is not. You see the difference with making that connection? With everything that happened with redlining, with the war on drugs, with mass incarceration, all these other things that you could mention, she connects it to the right to vote. And then when we talk about the right to vote for who? Because my right to vote chose to be a third party candidate, which both parties have used money and other resources to get those candidates off the ballot. This is what Juneteenth really, out of all the things to prioritize, that's what she chose to prioritize: voting. Because the reality is, that's all they want you to get out there and do. Just go out there and vote. And there's a reason why Kamala Harris did not get the support from Black voters the way that her predecessors did. Now, Biden, you just kind of got lucky. It was a pandemic. Economics 101. It was a pandemic. So you kind of got lucky. Obama was going to be a given. Obama had the most support. His second presidential term, there was a decrease, but it's continued to decrease since then. But there's a reason why. She don't bring up any of these things. Like, it's very weird to me. And FM says it here: not reparations, not anti-Black hate crime bill, no vote. That right. All the other things that she could have connected with Juneteenth, her thing was vote.
And this is why we don't want these people speaking for us, because they are culturally disconnected from us. Just because they have a few drops or one drop of melanin, we have to stop pretending we all Black and we just the same and we all came from the motherland. No, we didn't. And Kamami, Miss Bathtub Collard Greens, she doesn't speak for us.
And we've been voting. And you didn't deliver. The Democratic Party.
And again, they keep saying your ancestors fought and died for the right for you to vote. Okay, I voted. What did I get for it? Oh, shut up, nigga. Just keep voting blue no matter who. Okay, we've been doing that. Oh, just shut up and keep voting. That's pretty much all they want. Just shut up and keep voting. You won't get anything. We're going to displace you. We're going to disenfranchise you. Then you're going to just be politically irrelevant, and then they're going to try to say, hey, well, you voted for this. They're going to just say, hey, you voted for your demise. And the whole time they were telling you, no, this isn't your demise. This is to help you. So they kept pushing forward harmful policies that they were saying were helping you. Then when you come to the realization like, hey, these policies haven't helped us, then they say, shut up. Get over it. You know what I mean? You have to deal with this other population, while at the same time they're using the pain and the plight from your people. They keep talking about MLK, Foundational Black American, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, but it's like, where are all your icons, right? Who is the Latino MLK? And then they tried to uphold Cesar Chavez, and then they say that Cesar Chavez, y'all know the allegations against him. I don't know if it's true, but that's who their MLK was. Okay, fine. Who is the Asian version of Fred Hampton? They love to talk about the brown berets. Okay, where the hell are the brown berets today, right? What the hell are the brown berets doing now? They love to talk about black and brown. Where are the black and brown businesses? Where are the black and brown media companies? Where are the black and brown anything? In California, there's black people, brown people, and Asian people, right? And realistically, the black people are the brown people, but let's just say there's blacks, Hispanics, and Asians. Did you know there's a Latino and Asian super PAC? They love to talk about people of color, but when it's time to dole out resources, the Asians and the Latinos work to exclude us. How are they any different than the white people? There's no race called Latino. There's no race called Hispanic. Many of those so-called Hispanics are actually white. One day they're white and they're Latino. And I always tell you, think of it like this. Y'all know who Cameron Diaz is. Cameron Diaz is a white girl, but she's not just that. She's a white Latina girl. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. The only issue is the anti-blackness. They love to say, oh, we all need to come together. Then you need to come together by stop being anti-black. We are the ones inviting everyone. We're the ones saying, come to the cookout. We're the ones saying, hey, you can do that dance. Here, we'll teach you. Hey, you can say nigga, as long as you don't add the hard ER. You know what I mean? Like, we have been the most inclusive, the most inviting, and all these other groups have been exclusive. And I'm not talking about every single person. I'm not talking about an individual. I'm talking about the collective. And that's what people try to play these games. Hey, I'm not anti-black. Yeah, but your dad is, and you're not going to stand up to your dad. So you're kind of complicit with what your dad thinks because you love your dad, and no one is telling you to go against your dad. But we're saying to stop pretending that what I'm saying is a fallacy. It's like, we don't have racial slurs for these other groups. Now I'm advocating that people should be calling other people who use black racial slurs, call them a slur too, because all slurs matter, right? Like, there wasn't no gun to people's head forcing them to call us pinche mayate, right? That's a conscious choice that you made, right? Even if you think about the slurs for the other groups, whether it be wetback, goop, chink, all these other ones, we didn't come up with that. So the people who didn't come up with the slurs, you're mad at us. But the people who did come up with the slur about your group, you're bending over and spreading cheeks for them. Make it make sense. And we've been joined by none other than Tara Sanchez. Hola, amiga. Let's get back into it.
He's not been delivering.
No one was ready for what just happened.
So let me let this advertisement go.
So this is something, I know sometimes people say, well, no, we all gotta, we should not focus on whether or not someone is, a descendant of slavery, and if they're not, and if they aren't. But when you
No, that's the thing. No one is focusing on whether she's a descendant of slavery. What we're focusing on is she a foundational Black American of the lineage. People try to act confused, but it's only when it comes to us. There's a reason why they have a Chinatown and a Koreatown. It's separate. Why isn't there a merger? Why isn't it just called Asia Town? No, they're saying this is Chinatown, and this is going to be ethnically and culturally Chinese, right? Anyone could come there, but this ain't about other Asian people. This is about Chinese people. That's why it's called Chinatown, and people respect that. The same thing with Koreatown. Koreatown doesn't want it to be ethnically and culturally Chinese. Why it's called Koreatown? They have a Japantown. People understand that. But when it comes to us, we can't have anything of our own because we have to include everybody that has any drop of melanin. So then when these people come over here, they want to make a little Senegal, but I thought we were all black and we were all African. So why do you need to delineate and disaggregate? See, before we were like, hold on, why would you do that, right? Like, I thought we were all the same. But they've been telling us that, hey, you're not like us. And then once we finally just woke up and said, you know what, you're right. We ain't like y'all. You not like us. And then now people try to double back. Hey, big head, we all the same. No, we're not. Because if we were all the same, why would they want a little Senegal? I thought we were all the same. So there would be no need for a little Senegal, for a little Haiti, for a Jamaica Queens. You know what I mean? Is this Haiti or is this America? So you're coming here to be a transplant to create another country and transform it into the place that you fled from. Okay, fine. There should be more little Haitis, more little Cubas and little Havanas and Chinatowns. But then when we say we want a foundational Black American town, suddenly we have to have everybody there. It's a foundational Black American town, but we got to have a bunch of Hispanics over there. But they're not foundational Black American. Then we got to have a bunch of Caribbeans over there. And then it's like, hey, we all minorities. We all people of color. Right. But they don't say that in Chinatown. They don't say, hey, Asians are minorities and Black people are minorities. So Black people should be able to open businesses in Chinatown because we're all minorities. Right. There's no Asian towns that are predominantly Asian and now they're flipping from Asian to Black. There are a bunch of Black towns that are flipping from Black to like majority Hispanic, majority Asian. That's not happening by chance. They target areas where they look at the Black population and then suddenly these NGOs just drop a bunch of Hispanics there. And then they have all of this money that they just magically could give them for strollers, for healthcare, all sorts of stuff. And you don't have to take my word for it, right? There's not a lot of pulling of the bootstraps going on. Because it's just a flat out lie. Just think about this, right? This is the greatest nation and the richest nation. Just think about this lie right here. They came over here with $2 in their pocket. Okay. Right now, anyone in the chat, if you had $2 in your pocket, what state or city would you recommend someone go? If you had $2 in your pocket, you wouldn't recommend someone go to Wyoming with $2. You wouldn't recommend someone go to Boise, Idaho with $2 or Utah, Ogden, Utah or something like that, right? But we're supposed to believe that these people who were so poor, could barely speak the language, only had $2 in their pocket and then they came here and just made it and lived the American dream. Let's just say that they did have $2 in their pocket. Okay, how did they eat on day one? And then how did they eat on day 2? And then how did they eat on day 20? Because remember, they only had $2. Where did they shower? Not only where were they eating, where did they shower? So just that debunks all of the pull themselves up by the bootstrap. Then you see that they had sponsors. Oh, if someone is sponsoring you, that's not pulling yourself up by your bootstrap. That's a whole infrastructure for someone to help you and aid you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, why are you lying about it? You know what I mean? It's, you know, rather pathetic.
When she makes statements like this, yes, that does matter. And the reason why, like, notice she didn't say what I said. And there is something about having that connection. She does not have that connection that my family has to the Deep South. She doesn't have that connection that my family has with the Great Migration. And so for her and her mindset, it's just, oh, well, the right to vote. That's part of the problem. Let's get to the next part. She goes on to talk to Dawn even more. And as I said, like, you can tell he's kind of walking her through this interview. Here's a good example.
Can that be reversed, though? Let's say whoever's in office in 2028, can this be reversed? Will the people who are being unfairly targeted, will they have any recourse, or will everybody just be pardoned? And do you think the next president should try to at least rectify some of that? Because some folks are saying, I hear about on the Democratic side, Madam Vice President, say, well, we need to focus on the business of the American people and not on, fixing what Donald Trump broke, so to speak. I'm paraphrasing here. But I think we can do both. I'm not a politician, but I think that the people who deserve to be prosecuted or whatever it is for misusing the Justice Department and abusing, I believe, American citizens and American politicians, or whatever you want to say, political rivals or whatever, I think that they should face, some sort of justice.
Pause. See how he walked her through that? Right? He said, I think they should face some sort of justice, right? Now listen to what she says.
Oh, well, I absolutely believe that. And I believe that there should be there should be accountability.
But how does that look like in a legal?
And this is the hypocrisy. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. And like Sabby is saying, like this is just a softball interview, right? And that was just a layup for her. And then she says, I think there should be accountability. How is she going to call for accountability when she hasn't taken any accountability? She went on a book tour blaming people, blaming Biden and throwing other people under the bus. But what accountability did she take? Speaking of accountability, what accountability did Don Lemon take? Don Lemon got kicked to the curb. He got a little bit too big for his skis. They demoted him. He had his own primetime show and they demoted him, where he had to share a channel with two Karens. And I think they promoted them and gave him the boot, and then he got paid still. He still got a nice severance package where he was paid millions and millions. But what accountability did Don Lemon take for all of the disgusting things he said about the Black community? So this whole accountability thing is just a complete and utter farce and a contradiction. Neither of these two stooges have taken accountability. So Trump is not going to take accountability because he's a liar, just as well as Biden didn't. What accountability has Obama take? What accountability has Don Lemon or Kamami ever taken? They haven't. So they're wagging and pointing their fingers at other people, talking about accountability that they've never really had. And then when people try to attack them or hold them accountable, it's like, oh, you're only doing that because Don Lemon's gay. Or you don't like Kamala because she's a Black woman. No, I don't like her because she's a liar.
And especially for people in the highest roles of power. And
see how he's helping her? So let me tell you, there's a little trick, right? Like if it's somebody you really like, all right, I'm spilling the beans now. If it's somebody you really like, and you're interviewing them and you think they may struggle in certain areas, there is this thing where you can kind of lead them and walk them through, like what Don Lemon just did. And she's talking about, oh, absolutely, I think they should pay a price. How? What does that look like? What does the legal thing look like? You see, before she even finished saying what she was saying, so he's helping her. This is why I say she's still not ready. And then, some people came to me and they said, well, Sabs, you guys were too hard on Kamala. I'm like, are you guys listening to what Kamala's saying? Like, This is what I'm saying. Like, and
for the people who say that Sabs is too hard on Kamala or Kamami, let me refresh your memory on who we're dealing with.
I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community.
In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap.
You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president of the United States.
We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. Huh? Let's commence.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context. I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun. I did not know that. If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that. But my staff will deal with that later. Who does?
Again, if you break in my house, you getting shot. But all of these Democrats are pushing gun control. Biden, Obama, all of these people have a secret service, lifetime secret service, around the clock secret service who protects them with guns, but they're always trying to convince you that, hey, guns are bad. Okay, well, if guns are bad, then why is Kamala threatening to shoot anyone that comes into their house? Which I agree with her. You break into my house, I'm sending you to the upper room. Well, you better hope you go to the upper room, or you're going to go in the dirt. You're either going to take a dirt nap, or you're getting expedited. You're getting sent to the upper room expeditiously. But then again, why are they pushing this gun control? Why aren't they pushing responsible gun ownership? Hey, we don't want to take your guns. We just want to ensure responsible gun ownership. They talk about banning all this other stuff. You ban firearms, people still find ways to unalive people, whether it be with their bare hands, whether it be with vehicular homicides, right? So this is more hypocrisy from Kameme.
Doesn't love a yellow school bus, right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right? Just there's something about the and most of us, many of us went to school on the yellow school bus, right? Wheels on the bus go round and round. I just got I do believe that we should have rightly believed, but we certainly believe that certain issues are just settled. Certain issues are just settled.
Clearly we're not.
No, that's right. And that's why I do believe that we are living, sadly, in real unsettled times. It is the Caribbean nations.
Huh? What the hell is she talking about?
Bitch, are you high?
Island nations. In the Western Hemisphere, that is where the Caribbean is. We are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors. And talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present. First and foremost, I believe that we gotta take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously. So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us, right? Before I begin, I do want to say a few. When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water. As a United States Senator, I was proud to co-sponsor, and then as Vice President, it was my honor, with the President, the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. A future where we can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been. We
have dreams. We can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
Who saw what could be, unburdened by what had been.
I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three.
Now, I told y'all this one would be a doozy. So before I transition, now I ain't gonna lie, this may be a vomit inducing segment. So get you some paper bags, get next to a garbage can, because this may be vomit inducing. And Cloudness 457 says, what the fig is she talking about? That's the thing. This is what I call the baby back bimbo babble. Like no one knows what the hell she was talking about. And even Tara doesn't even know what she was talking about. So before I transition to the next story, and Cloudness says, I'm glad she didn't win the election. Hold on, like Obama said, are you mad? Are you glad she didn't win the election because she is a black woman and you couldn't just stomach voting for a black woman because you're a misogynist? Is that why you didn't vote for it, Cloudness? Let us know. But you know, some people are mad at Kamala because they say, oh, well, just let Kamala be joyful, right? What's the issue with her always being joyful? Well, when you're running for the president of the United States, what they call the leader of the free world, and you're always laughing or excessively laughing, yeah, people start to take you unserious. So we've been joined by the Florida fam, sunlight from the Sunshine State, shining brighter than a diamond in a building. Salute to sunlight. Sunlight, like I said, this may be a vomit-inducing segment. I'm about to transition into the next story. But before I do, I gotta remind you why you didn't vote for Kameme.
I keep forgetting I'm president.
Oh, look at what my eyes behold.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
Wow. Diminish the mentally retarded action of this guy.
Well said.
Okay, I won't call you Auntie.
So my point is,
It was a debate. It was a debate.
Yeah. Well, actually, not.
If you don't go to school, Kamala's gonna put you and me in jail. Hip hop. Cardi B. Hanukkah, Passover.
ooh.
The sun is shining and the rain. Seeing the value of educators when they had to bring their kids. We had a great steak dinner together. So, too short.
So I know some of y'all are sick and, you know, you probably had to run to the bathroom to throw up. But that was going to be your president. And Sunlight says Kamala is so black with her unwavering support of Israel. Israel denies chattel slavery was America's worst atrocity against humanity. How black is that? Yeah, I mean, she's not black. Not according to me. And even if she was black, because people try to fight, no, she is black. And, they try to push the one drop rule. So I say, fine, let's just concede and say that she is black, which I don't think that she is, but let's just say that she was, hypothetically. Being black doesn't give you a pass. Jesse Lee Peterson is black and he's a Sambo. Officer Tatum is black and he's a Sambo. So just simply being black, Anton Kuntan Daniels is black, Charleston Kunston White is black, but they're a Sambo. So simply being black doesn't give you a pass to be anti-black and bigoted. So I don't give a fig Newton if she is black. She's not a foundational black American and she's not Freedman. And even if she was Freedman, I would be holding her to a higher standard. The days of just simply having a certain level of melanin and say, hey, we all black. Okay, well, if we all black, then why ain't you standing on business for the black folks? And like we've been joined by the illustrious, the infamous, the notorious Shakim Ra in building. And like he says, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. No. And this is what we got to stop doing, right? An orange and a tangerine look the same. An orange is not a tangerine. An orange looks like a grapefruit. An orange is not a grapefruit. So just because someone may phenotypically look like you or may have a certain drop of melanin or a few drops or a few sprinkles of melanin, that doesn't mean that they're your kinfolk. There are some people that are your same skin pigment or darker than you and are off code. And then there's some people that are lighter than you and are on code than some people that are extremely dark. There are some black people that practice black love and they're married to other black people, but it's two black Sambos and two black raccoons. And there's some black people that are married to white people or Latinos and they stand on business for their community. I don't look and just say, oh, someone's together and that's beautiful. That's black love. That's black love of two raccoons. That's nothing to celebrate. I would rather celebrate a black dude with a white wife who's standing on business for the community rather than two black people married to each other and they both cooning. That's black love. No, that's black coonery. And we've been joined by Last Call, Mr. Midnight Soul, chatting from an undisclosed location in Northern America. And shout out to Big Rig. I didn't even know you were still here, bro. Salute to the fam and salute to Shakim. I know Shakim been over there going in. Obama, and I'm glad you put the quotations, Obama being the first black. Well, let's be specific because this is the information age. Obama was the first biracial Kenyan American president. Salute to the Africans. Salute to Kenya. Salute to the biracials. It's funny because if y'all need me to, I will pull it up. Obama called himself biracial. His wife called him biracial. But then when you call Obama biracial, there's colorism. Huh? Obama, little musty, lanky ass, called himself biracial, and then I call him what he is, and somehow that's a slur. It just doesn't make any sense, right? People would love to say, I'm not black, I'm mixed. And then when I say, okay, fine, stay out of black people business because you're not black, you're mixed, you're biracial, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I'm having a black conversation and you're having a mixed conversation. It's different. Hey, there's colorism. It turns into that, like, bro, what the hell are you talking about, right? It's turned into now if you call a biracial person what they are, biracial, now that's a slur. And we have been the ones uplifting and accepting anyone. If you have one drop, we have been accepting and saying, nah, you black, just like us. We haven't been looking at skin pigment and say, hey, you're extra light, so you're not black like us. But guess who was saying that you're not like us? The white people were looking at the people with one drop of blackness and saying, no, you're not like us. And then since they get rejected from the white people, and then some black people may clown them, then they try to talk about colorism and all the stuff. Colorism, you know what colorism is? Colorism is another aspect of white supremacy, because when they talk about colorism, what is the color that people are worshiping? Lighter and whiter colors, because it is part of white supremacy. You can't try to detach colorism from white supremacy. People try to act like colorism, racism, and white supremacy is something different. No, these are aspects and features of white supremacy. Racism is an aspect of white supremacy. Colorism is an aspect of white supremacy, which is why when people are trying to color themselves, right? They're not really trying to color themselves darker. Most of the times they're trying to color themselves lighter. And really think about this. Now that I think about this just came off the dome. Think about the white people, right? What are they trying to do? They're trying to get darker. Once you get a tan, you're not getting a tan to get lighter. You're getting a tan to get darker. Meanwhile, the darker people, not all, but many dark people are saying, hey, how do I get lighter? I need to get lighter like the whites, and the whites are trying to get lighter, right? It just doesn't make any sense. There's people who are actually the same pigment as white people or even lighter, and you're calling them people of color. But what color are they? They're literally the same color as a white person, but I'm supposed to call them a person of color? But what color are they? See, we can proudly say what color we are. Hey, I'm a red bone. I'm yellow, right? Hey, I'm a brown copper colored person. But what color are these other people, right? Cameron Diaz is Latina. But what color is she, right? Hey, man, my bad, bro. I had to go on a little bit of tirade. Hey, if I had the sound effect, I would have hit it right now. And Shakim says, which inadvertently proved that having a black president, black vice president is simply not enough to eradicate. And that was my whole point. So like I said, let's just say Obama was the blackety black. He was a freedman. It doesn't matter if he's not standing on business for his community. Every other group recognizes. What is the point of having a Jewish representative, but he's not standing on business for the Jewish community, right? They would be rejecting that person. But somehow we're supposed to praise a person who has a little bit of melanin. But what did he say? I ain't the president of Black America. I'm the president of all America. But when he's talking about uplifting his legacy, he's not going to all of America. He's going to Black Americans, telling them to protect his legacy. Obama, you said you're the president of all America. So go tell all Americans to protect your legacy. And not only that, Obama is biracial. So he should spend half of his time talking to black people and half of his time talking to white people. Instead, he spends 100% of the time telling black people what they need to do because he's black. No, he's partly black and he's also partly white. So why won't he go to his white side and tell them what they need to do? And those days of just trying to jump in and out of, Monday through Friday, you black on the weekends, you're exotic and mixed. No, if you're biracial all the time. Do you think there will really be a true Black American president? No, I don't think there will be a true Black American president. There'll just be more people like Obama, biracial Kenyans. They try to bring in the Wes Moores, who's a Caribbean tether, the Byron Donalds, another Caribbean tether. They bring these people in and they bring melanated figures and say, hey, look, this is your Black representation. No, that's a Kenyan person. That's a Jamaican person. We're just done doing the flat blackness, right? The days of cultural and ethnic erasure are over. And this isn't to to denigrate or to crap on any other group. We're about cultural and ethnic specificity. When I bring up samurai culture, it would be a dereliction of civic duty to just simply say, oh, that's Asian culture. No, samurai culture is Japanese culture, and Japanese people happen to be Asian. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about how hip hop is foundational Black American culture, don't try to make it a flat blackness thing because foundational Black Americans created hip hop. That means that someone in Sierra Leone could take credit because hey, they have the same level or a similar level level of melanin as you. So someone from Ghana could claim foundational Black American hip hop because we all Black. That doesn't make any sense, bro. I didn't grow up eating goosey soup. I didn't grow up eating jerk chicken, nan and curry, bush meat, curried goat. Nothing wrong with that. I'm sure it's delicious. That's not my culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. To try to pretend that it is just disingenuous. When you think about sushi, right? Filipinos can't claim sushi. They can eat sushi. They can make sushi. They can enjoy sushi, but it didn't originate in their culture. Filipinos are Asian. Japanese are Asian. You don't look at sushi and say Asians made this. No, the Japanese people who happen to be Asian made this, right? The Black Jamaicans made jerk chicken, right? I had nothing to do with that. Just like the Jamaicans had nothing to do with hip hop. Y'all came later and contributed. Salute to the contribution. A contribution is not creation. If I'm having a cookout and I done already whipped up the tater salad, I done whipped up the ribs, I done whipped up the hot links, I done whipped up everything, the watermelon, the punch, and then you came and brought some paper plates and forks. I didn't really need you to do that. But since you did that, I appreciate it. You contributed to the betterment of this cookout. But for you to turn back later and say, hey, I organized this cookout or I created this cookout. No, you didn't. You came to participate and partake. Participation is not production. Contribution is not creation. We tip our hats and we commend the people who contribute. But now people who have contributed are trying to flip the script and say, we created this. We did this. And you know what I gotta hit them with? We.
Who is we? Who is we?
When y'all start speaking all this French, I'm just saying. And we've been joined and salute. Big Rig, I told you it will be a doozy. And actually, Big Rig, I ain't even on a 10 yet. I say I'm at about a 4.5. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate that, Sunlight. And salute to my guy, the East Coast bully over there. Shout out to Malik. No, he ain't the bully. That's my boy from Brownsville. Cloudness is the Brownsville bully. Malik is the mayhem mafioso. Malik is the one who causes the mayhem. So salute to Malik over there. Hey, I had to hit him, but let me go ahead and get into this stuff, right? Because just in case y'all didn't know, there is a boycott going on. Now, the boycott stems, and I do believe that some are misguided with the boycott. They're just simply calling it an Asian boycott. I don't agree with that, right? Because that's just like if someone said there was a black boycott and they want to boycott the blacks because of what some Nigerian person did. Some Nigerian person did a scam, and then now they're mad at all black people based on the Nigerian stuff. Now, when Cloudness says it's a blackout, I can support a blackout. I can support a ban. I don't support an Asian boycott, because there's a bunch of different Asians. There's Cambodians, there's Filipinos, there's Chinese people, there are Koreans, right? And people can make the argument that none of them rock with us, and I ain't even gonna hold you on that. However, there are some instances where people do good business with some Asian people. And I don't want people to say like, hey, I was doing good business with this Chinaman, and now I have to sever ties, simply because of this, right? Now, you should be trying to find ways to basically build the business, right? If there's a nail shop and you're supporting an Asian nail shop, you should be trying to figure out how could I get my own my own foundational Black American nail shop. If you love to eat tacos, you should be trying to make your own restaurant where you sell tacos, or you sell plates and you put them on Craigslist, Marketplace, Instagram, whatever place that you can reach the people, right? I support a blackout, not for hatred of these other groups, simply because people love to talk about what about black on black crime. They love to say that, hey, we're at the bottom, and they usually talk about that we're economically failing, you know what I mean? Which is not the truth, but they say compared to these other groups. Okay, fine. If that was the case, if we truly were failing and we truly were at the bottom, how does us giving our money to other groups that are allegedly ahead of us, how would that help us, right? If you're in last place and you're starving, but your way to not be starving is to give your food to someone else, that wouldn't make any sense, right? If you're broke and penniless and then you get a couple pennies and shekels and you think that the way to save money is by giving your money to someone else, it wouldn't make any sense. So that's all it is. And it's a way about minimalism as well, right? People have been trying to live a maximum lifestyle on a declining budget or declining wages, right? I've already talked about this multiple times. Many of you chicks, let's just go with the nail shop, right? You need to find a black owned, particularly a foundational black American owned nail shop if you want to get your nails done. But realistically, many of you guys should be doing your nails at home. And then when you want to get your nails done for a particular special occasion, then go get your nails done, because many of these women are naturally beautiful. And then the ones that are not, they could enhance their beauty by, you know, makeup and all this other type of stuff, right? But if a dude is about to come over to your house and he's about to slide in that slippery ooey gooey box, he don't pull down his pants and then pull down your panties and then look over and say, baby, I was finna hit this from the back, but you ain't had a feel in weeks, so I'ma head out. That's not what niggas is doing. That's not what grown men are doing. So, yeah. Have some minimalism, right? Stop going and shopping. Stop trying to get your nails done multiple times. Stop overspending on hair weave. And the same thing with the fellas. Stop overspending on shoes. You know what I mean? You over here spending $400 pairs on shoes because you're a sneakerhead. You're a sneakerhead who owns no property. You're a sneakerhead who lives with your mama. So yeah, just have some better priorities. Our people always want to hook up. It's hard for a black business owner to get started and maintain longevity. And I know Malik gonna come with the anti-black tropes. Well, everybody wants a hookup, right? Now, just because somebody wants a hookup doesn't mean you have to give them one. Now, and these other groups, you know, they give their people hookups as well. Like, I've been around other groups, the Jewish people. You think Jewish people don't hook each other up? So, like, what are you really saying? You think Asian people don't hook each other up? You think every Asian person is paying full price, top dollar, and none of them are hooking each other up? I mean, the government is hooking them up. The government is hooking them up with all sorts of goodies, giveaways, and grants. So all of these other groups are getting hooked up. I pulled it up multiple times, but you can look it up. All you got to do is type in the Office of New America, go on Chat GPT, go on Claude AI, go on Copilot, and all you got to do is type in what free programs are available for immigrants. Just type that in and see what comes up. Those are hookups. Goodies, giveaways, and guarantees. So yeah, many of our people do want to hook up, but not all of them, right? So Master P had the hook up. Na 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 na. I love that movie too. That was a dope movie, right? But I will say too, right, for those that want to hook up, I think it's okay to occasionally ask for a hookup if you have been supportive, right? If you've been supporting people consistently and constantly, I don't think it's bad to ask for a hookup. But then if this is your first time doing business with me and then you want to hook up and then I probably ain't gonna never see you again, yeah, I can't respect that. And you don't have to honor that hookup. Someone could request anything from you, right? Dudes all the time ask chicks, hey, baby, you gonna let me fuck, right? She don't have to let that nigga fuck though, right? So just because someone asks you for a hookup, you don't gotta give it to them. That's one of the problems right there. We focus on other people's backyard, not enough to focus on our own. Well, people are focused on us, right? So right now, we said we were going to boycott the Asians, right? They should be focused on their own, but instead they're focused on our boycott. So a lot of the stuff you're saying, I'm debunking your contradictions in real time, right? All of these other groups focus on us. They say they have black fatigue, and what do they talk about? All of their content is about black people. How do you have fatigue about us, but all you do is talk about us? If I said I had fatigue of the NFL, but then all my content was about the NFL, is that NFL fatigue? I got black fatigue. And then every day, what about black on black crime? See, black people want to hook up. See, black people focus on this. All your content and all your vitriol is about black people, while at the same time saying you have black fatigue. So yeah, all these other groups, they focus on us. All these other groups, guess where their business are? In our neighborhoods. So yeah, of course we have to talk about other people, and it's not about focusing on them. It's just about calling out, and you said the problems right there were focused on other people's backyard. Malik, what are you doing for the black community? Because you do got a lot of criticism, bro, but like what are you doing for the community that people could point to and say, oh yeah, look, we can model ourselves after Malik? Because most of the people that's criticizing the community, all they have is content, and it's the same stuff. What about black on black crime, fatherless homes? We need to do this. We don't do this. The other groups do this. Black people bad. Black people failing. And then you ask them, okay, cool. What are you doing to change the conditions? I'm making more content talking about black on black crime every day, all the time. What about black on black crime? It's like, okay, but nigga, what are you doing about it? Making content? So you're not doing anything to change the conditions. You're just talking and babbling incoherently. Okay, I got you. But let's get into this. I told y'all this will be a doozy. So let's get into this video from Pink Book Lessons. And this one is titled, White Man Delivers a Brutal Wake-Up Call. We are not your friend. So this is about a white man talking to the Asians, because the Asians, many of them are attempting to be the model minority, leaning into the trope. They're talking about how black people are violent and dangerous, and that a boycott is anti-Asian hate. Really think about this, right? There's some Asian restaurants, and then the black people is like, you know what? We're done spending money with them. We just gonna spend our money with ourselves. Somehow, they couldn't just deal with that. They couldn't say, fine, let the blacks go spend money with themselves. Now they're calling that anti-Asian hate. They're not doing what Malik said. They're not focused on their own backyard. They're focusing on people leaving their business. Black people are saying, fine, y'all want to have y'all Asian businesses? Cool. Y'all have y'all Asians business. We just won't be patronizing them, right? And then suddenly that turns into anti-Asian hate. How? Nobody said go burn an Asian business. No one said do a drive-by on their business. No one said say that they got the Kung flu. All they said is, bro, if you want some Chinese food, go whip it up at home. You want your nails done, go to a black nail technician. That's all people are saying. And suddenly that's anti-Asian hate? Okay, let's get into it.
What's going on? But all I heard is that people are out there boycotting Asian business. And to me, that is the dumbest idea, because Asian businesses has become the root of our society. And let me break it down to you. I know y'all love the egg rolls. You cannot say you don't like the egg rolls. Them egg rolls are crunchy, and you know you love it when we bring them fried rice to the potluck.
We can make our own egg rolls and even do a higher level of quality control, knowing exactly what's in it. Don't nobody have time to be worried about mystery meat or what.
And like she said, nobody got time to be worried about the mystery meat. Now, this is what they always try to do, right? They always try to say, hey, you know what I mean? Sauce Walker was saying, hey, Latinos could say nigga because you love tacos. Huh? Now he's saying, oh, well, Asians could be anti-black, or hey, you can't boycott Asians because you love egg rolls, right? Okay, I can make my own egg rolls, right? I don't need to be having someone tell me, hurry up and buy. Just hurry up and buy an egg roll, right? That's not helping me at all, right? And then he's talking about the potluck. What potluck? Bro, for reals, bro. We've invited people to the cookout. How many Jewish bar mitzvahs have you been invited to? How many fiestas have you been invited to? If you've been invited to a Latina fiesta, that's only because you were dating some Latina. But when you went to the fiesta, it wasn't a bunch of black people there. There wasn't a bunch of negritos there. But you and come to a black cookout, it's very, it's very diverse in terms of race, ethnicity, etc., right? How many potlucks have you been to where there's a bunch of Asians around? So he's over here talking about, oh man, y'all love that we bring this to the potluck. What potluck are you talking about, bruh? Like, for reals, a lot of us don't really kick it with Asians like that. Not because we hate Asians. It's just like they make a concerted effort to not really be around us. Not all, but many of them collectively want to be around the dub community, and that's fine. So who the hell is he talking about? Y'all love our fried rice and egg rolls. Like, okay. And Mr. Frank Nitty, grimy and gritty when he put it on for the biddy. Salute, Frank. Let's get back into it.
What cat or dog got sacrificed today? Like, cut it out.
And you know them fried rice kicks in hard with the sriracha.
Man, skip.
And you know,
to keep it a buck, we really don't be doing sriracha like that, bro. More sweet and sour over here. Great topic. Hey, yeah, I appreciate it, bro. So, hold on. Let me get back into that. Yeah, we mainly do the sweet and sour. I know some people, and I do the Kiko Man sweet and sour. Some people do the soy sauce, teriyaki sauce. I like sriracha. It's just most of us ain't really eating that. If we want some hot sauce, please. I'm going with the crystal.
If there was no Asian business, there wouldn't be no happy ending massage.
I'm sorry, but who are you appealing to with this?
And you know, when it comes to the nail industry, us Asian people, we love you long time. And you.
So when he's talking about these happy endings, I'm going to keep it a buck, right? I mean, there's usually people from the dub community going in there and getting those happy endings. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Not to say that's their only demographic, but that's their main demographic who goes in there and gets happy endings. You know what I mean? So who is he trying to pander to? Like, he's like, you guys love the happy endings. And it's funny, right? Because they always talk about the promiscuity of black women. They talk about the degeneracy of the black community. Isn't this pretty degenerate? He's over here talking about illicit massage parlors where you get a massage and then you get some lummy long time after. Meaning, you know what I mean? Somebody rubs you down. Somebody gives you a tug job, a hand job, blow job. You know what I mean? Or whatever you like. It's a happy ending, right? Is that degenerate? Is that hoe culture? What is it, right? I mean, yeah, it's the oldest profession that we all know about. But you see how certain topics, right? If a black chick is on the street selling her cooch, that's black culture. But if an Asian person is selling her little monkey in an illicit massage parlor, then suddenly nothing to see here. They're just trying to make a living. They're doing the jobs that no one wants to do. No one will work in a massage parlor. Nobody else will give a happy ending. Okay.
You know, when I was Asian, some of you came and washed your clothes because there wouldn't be no laundromat.
With base 44, a simple.
Yeah, let me mute that here. But come on, bruh. When the last time you went to a laundromat? Now, don't get me wrong. I still will go to the laundromat because I got this thick comforter And this laundromat, it does have like this humongous commercial thing, so it washes and dries my comforter. But other than that, I have a washer and dryer at the house. So again, who is he pandering towards when he's talking about, hey, y'all wouldn't be able to wash y'all clothes without us Asians? I mean, are y'all relying on an Asian laundromat to go wash your dirty drawers? I'm just saying.
Black person I know has a washer and dryer inside their residence. Like what?
And you know damn well when I was Asian, some of y'all wouldn't have no Asian baby.
Come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
I'm telling y'all.
Yeah, now he really talking to Brad, Chad, and Bartholomew because, you know, there's a bunch of, and look, if you want to interracially date or mate, who am I to judge? Love who you love, do who you do, and be true to that, right? But when he's talking about, hey, y'all want these Asian babies, yeah, that's what the white dudes want, because many of your Asian communities are taught to be anti-black, you know, to get closer to whiteness. And once you lighten and brighten, you know, your offspring, you will be closer to achieving and attaining social status, right? So when he's talking about y'all want these Asian babies, he's really projecting this towards white people, right? I played multiple videos of Asian people saying how much they desire white men, right? So yeah, there may be some black and Asian relationships, but it's very minuscule. So when he's talking about these Asian babies, he's pandering towards white dudes, but he's trying to frame this as he's talking to the black community about an Asian boycott. No, blacks and Asians are not getting together like that. Not because there's not some black people that are not attracted to Asians. And most of all, it will be more or less, you know, Asian men attracted to black dudes. But many of them know that they'll be ostracized and cut off from their family if they have a black baby, because that baby won't be considered Asian. It will be considered black, even though the baby actually would be Asian, or it would be biracial. And they're like, nope, the baby's not biracial. The baby is black. They completely disown the Asian part of that baby until the baby wins a championship or makes it to the NBA, which you're seeing with all of these people. Dylan Harper, I don't know if you guys know sports, but Dylan Harper is a rookie on the Spurs. His dad is a legendary guard who played for the Bulls, played with Michael Jordan, Ron Harper. So his dad is black, his mom is Asian, and they keep talking about how Asian this dude is. Oh my God, we love his mom. The dude got to the league because of his dad, the genetics of his dad. Jordan Clarkson the same way. His dad is black, and they keep talking about how Filipino he is, right? So all these groups do this stuff. They only care about the Asiatic or the other ethnic and racial side as long as the group does something positive. Any other time, it's like, nope, you ain't one of us. You know what I mean? Look at Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura is Japanese, born in Japan, speaks fluent Japanese. He comes over here and they want to pretend as if he's African American. Like, what the hell? The dude is a Japanese person. Clearly, there's nothing African about him. They don't call him an Asian American. No, he's African American, even though there's nothing African about him. And then they want to try to pretend as if we have the same lineage as Rui Hachimura, someone who's a black Japanese person who immigrated here. But we all black? No, we're not. Don't you love the irony how this guy emulates our mannerisms and the way we speak? Their women are bony, no curves. Why in the world would we want a happy ending from them? From what I hear, they don't do black men anyways. And this is what I'm trying to tell you, bro. They don't really be doing black men. Some of these places have an explicit no black men allowed policy, right? So when he's saying, oh, the happy endings, that's the white community predominantly. I'm not saying it's only white people. I'm saying predominantly that's their community going and getting the happy endings. It's predominantly white men flying to these Asian countries and, you know, being creating what some would call these bastard babies, right? That's what white men are doing. They were the original passport bros or passport hoes or passport deadbeats. You said most of my Puerto Rican uncles married and procreated with white women, and the one aunt who married and procreated with a white man, the whitewash is real. Thank you, Tara Sanchez. And I can respect people like Tara, Ricardo Ignacio, people that tell the truth, because this isn't about hatred. This is about just telling the truth. When we look at the Black community, we're supposed to say all of our disgusting issues and lay them on a table publicly for everyone to see. What about black on black crime? And people like Malik engage in this type of rhetoric. We doing this, black people bad, all this other stuff. Show me the video. I'll pull it up right now. Show me the video of any Puerto Rican talking about brown on brown crime. Show me the video of any Asians talking about yellow on yellow or Asian on Asian crime. Most crime is intraracial. So that means most Asians are harming Asians. Most whites are harming whites, right? If you look at the jungle, right? Who do you think lions mainly fight with? Other lions. Because that's who they're around with. No one would look and say, hey, why aren't those lions picking on the tigers? They're both cats, huh? They're not around any tigers to be fighting like that. And if you put tigers, lions in a cage, then sometimes they'll fight, sometimes they'll get along. That's just the nature of nature. But yeah, people try to pretend, and whether they use this term or not, I've talked about it multiple times on this show, they practice what's called mejoró la raza, blancamiento, lighten, brighten, and whiten the race. There's no race called Puerto Rican. Most people on the island of Puerto Rico identify as racially white. Up until recently, they've always identified as racially white. And the other ones that say that they're not white, they try to say, hey, we're mestizo. So they try to say that, hey, we're not white, we're mixed. So they're saying that, hey, we're mixed with white and, indigenous blood is what they claim, right? So but the thing is, when they come over here to, since it's an American colony and it was a slave colony, when they're in America and they check the box for the U.S. Census, the most of them don't check mixed, because that's what they say they are. We're mestizo, we're mixed. And then they have the opportunity to check the box that says they're mixed, but many of them check either white or Latino. But then when they check the white box, they say, hey, don't call me white, even though you checked the white box. Just don't call them white, though. Huh? Doesn't make sense.
The Asian runs deep. And if you want to boycott Asian business, that's like a personal issue right there. Because, man, I love me some Chinese food.
We have our own culture and our own food. Like, stop the baby bot bimbo babble. So the fallout.
Again, you see, they keep talking about the food. Okay, we can make our own food. I mean, how is that benefiting us? You taking your black dollars and putting them into the Asian community for food that you can make at home. How does that help you? Well, you get good food. Well, you can make good food at home for cheaper, higher quality, and save your money. Wouldn't that be better for the community? So let's just call it what it is. They don't give a damn about the black community. All they care is about your dollars. They see us as an extraction process. Here, let's set up shop in this neighborhood and extract the resources and take them out of the community. They're not collecting resources and build the community. They love to use goofy terms like minorities, marginalized groups, and people of color, right? They're supposed to be POCs. Where's the POC coalition that they're building? They're not doing anything to uplift the community, and they're saying, hey, do it yourselves. We have no obligation to help y'all, which is true. They have no obligation to help us, and we have no obligation to continue to spend money with them. It's fair, right? Yeah, I rarely eat Asian food. Yeah, like I said, you can eat Asian food every day. You just don't got to buy it from Asians. Right now, if you want a taco, you don't need to go to a taqueria to get a taco. You don't, right? Their food is unhealthy and it's not what they eat in their homeland. No, it's not. And they say they serve us this food because it's an American. So they try to tailor the cuisine to what Americans like. But is that what you're doing, or are you trying to exploit the community? Yes, we can. See, we need to start having more confidence, right? They love to give these tropes, right? Y'all love fried chicken and watermelon is delicious, right? People love watermelon. And if you need a little extra boost down there, it's considered to be nature's Viagra. Look that up, right? But let's just talk about the fried chicken. If fried chicken was such a trope, why did the Koreans want to learn how to make fried chicken from us, right? Now, you know, many of them became anti-black, but at least they will give it up and say, yeah, you know, it was the Black community who showed us how to make fried chicken, right? And it was the Black American community. It wasn't someone in Senegal. It wasn't someone in Sierra Leone. It wasn't someone in Ghana. It was the foundational Black Americans who taught them how to make fried chicken, right? But somehow that's supposed to be a trope. Y'all love chicken. Who doesn't? What, you don't love chicken? They say that we have no businesses, right? So if we have no businesses and a bunch of Asians have businesses and a bunch of Asians are selling chicken, who really loves fried chicken more? I make sushi for a living. Believe me, I know the ins and outs. Yes. And that's the thing. I've seen, and this is what I do. I implore, because see, what happens is when it's a Black cultural thing, all these other groups, they have no issues, right? They have no issues creating a hip hop dance course and there's no Black people. It's just all Asians teaching the course, right? They have no issues. There's a bunch of Asian people selling soul food, right? And there's supposed to be no issue. So there should be more Black Chinese restaurants, right? You don't have to call it Chinese anything. You can call it whatever you want, and then you specialize in selling Chinese food, right? We make our own types of tacos, right? If you don't know what a Black taco is, if you know, you know, right? I may have to whip up a Black taco online just to show y'all, right? That's what we grew up. We didn't grow up eating the tacos that they eat. And to be honest, a lot of these, like, I'll just say this, when you eat a Black taco, it comes with cheese mandatory. That's just like Mando. These other places, like, the cheese is optional. Oh, you didn't ask for cheese, or no, it's extra for cheese. Like, cheese is supposed to be part of the package, right? It's like you ask for a pizza and it's like, oh, do you want cheese with that? It's like, hold on, what, cheese don't come with the pizza? Like, what the hell? A lot of these taco places you go and it's like the cheese is in Mando. With a Black taco and a Black burrito, that's non-negotiable. You know what I mean? So I may have to whip that. You feel me? Chef Boyard B. A new segment y'all want to see? I'm just saying. And shout out to Tara. I had to pry my way to learn that craft. They are indeed the true definition of gatekeepers. And see, no one gets mad at them for gatekeeping. But then when we try to gatekeep, they try to say, hey, that ain't y'all culture. That's American culture. They try to make our culture very broad that anyone could just partake. And then not only that, try to claim as their own. But they're very selective on who they give the game to and they don't give the game to, right? Because they want to be the overseers of our culture, right? If I had access, look at Tara. See, I ain't making this up. In Mexico, no cheese. And my friend, his in San Jose, his grandma, she is from the heart of Mexico. She hates tacos. She hates burritos. She'll make them, but she said, man, that ain't real Mexican food. Like, yeah, Mexicans eat tacos and burritos, but she said there's so much good Mexican food that why are you just limiting it to tacos and burritos? So my friend's grandma, who is from the heart and soul of Mexico, she hates tacos and burritos. But yeah, a lot of them I see, like a lot of the Mexican tacos, it doesn't come with cheese. Like it's like you kind of got to ask them like, hey, bro, where the hell is the cheese at? Oh, that's extra. And sometimes it's like $1 or $2 extra. Is like, hold on, this shit don't come with cheese. So that's already the difference there. I'm not saying that it's disgusting or basura or anything like that. I'm just saying the cultural differences and the cuisine nuances between different cultures and stuff. Some people don't like cheese because it gives them the bubble guts and they got to run to the bathroom. So they probably prefer that it have no cheese. And then other people say, yeah, I need the cheese, you know, kind of like the icing on the cake. So yes, I might have to, you know, with the inspiration from sunlight, I might have to whip that up. I just might. Taco was originally Talaco from the indigenous people. Yeah, there are a lot of things from the indigenous people that just have been erased. This is why I believe it's disgusting when people say this is a nation of immigrants built by immigrants. Yeah, it's a nation with immigrants. And maybe you can make the argument a nation of immigrants, but not all of us are immigrants. And when you say that it was built by immigrants, that's one of the most disgusting lies that you can ever tell. And realistically, where the hell are the indigenous people? Because there's not really that many. Many of the so-called natives and indigenous, they're not even truly indigenous. They're indigenous to Europe and other parts of the globe. But when you say this is a nation built by immigrants, what you're saying is that the indigenous people didn't do nothing. They were just sitting here twiddling their thumbs. Oh, yeah, they got genocided. Okay, if they got genocided, then who are the people that are on these reservations? Who are these people that are still getting tribal citizenship? So clearly they all didn't get genocided, right? So let's talk to the people, right? Do they believe that this land? Because what you're saying is, no, the indigenous people didn't build anything. Immigrants built it, right? And then you're overlooking the enslaved population and the freedmen, who they're not immigrants. There's no definition because we all didn't come on a boat from Africa. But let's just say that we did, excuse me. There's no definition that you can look up in Webster's, Merriam, ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, Grok. There's no definition that says forcibly transporting someone or basically kidnapping someone, which, you know, I know that's not always the case, you know, because it was a slave trade. There was complicity involved, right? But you over here forcibly transporting someone, that's not immigration. If you go to China right now, take a little girl and bring her to America and you actually assault her over and over and over. She has kids. And then you say, hey, kids, your mommy immigrated here. No, people would say that's a disgusting lie and a disgusting, you know, fallacy to perpetuate. But that's what people are doing. Immigrants built the nation. No, immigrants came to a nation that was already built and thriving, and they helped contribute and make it greater. I will commend immigrants for helping and assisting in making the greatest nation even greater. But to say that they built it, no, the reason why they came here is because it was already built. No one says, hey, look, I'm struggling and failing, because that's why many of them came here. They were failing in their homeland. People don't come failing in their homeland to another place that's failing. It doesn't make any sense, right? If your boyfriend was treating you like crap and beating the snot out of you, you wouldn't go to some other dude who's going to beat the snot out of you. You would go to a situation that's better. They were failing, so they came to a situation that was better. They came to a situation that was built, and they helped contribute and expand what was already built. Now, if you say that, hey, immigrants expanded America, that would be a fair statement to make. But to say they built it is just a flat out lie.
Continues. Black people are still on it, saying they are done with these people, and a lot of these businesses are feeling the pressure, so they're sending their folks out here to do damage control to bring Black people back in. But it's not working, and they're really only showing their true colors. One thing I am noticing is a lot of Black Americans standing 10 toes down on this one.
And yes, for the people who are talking about, I'm not supporting no boycott, I'm going to them for the convenience, I'm still going to eat my Chinese orange cat or whatever, let me know so I can block your ass, bitch. You over there tap dancing for the motherfucking match.
Let's read what this person says. The terrible thing is that these businesses could put out a statement or make a donation or fundraise for a Black organization, but no, You rather get on here and deny and call black people racist. It's not about one person. I'm going to play your game now. Did you put out a statement or did you try to fundraise for the Asian community when those black people literally were hurting all those Asian people during COVID?
Where? Because at this point, you're just making stuff up. Who are all these black people you're talking about? Give me the date, the name of the black Americans you're speaking on. Give us the details. You can't.
And this is the thing. They never give you the details. All they say is black people was beating us during COVID. But I mean, just look at what your eyes say. Who came up with the term Kung flu? Was it a black dude? Who was talking about the China virus? Was it a black dude? So it was a white dude who came up with Kung flu. It was a white dude who came up with China virus. And 77% of the hate crimes and incidents were perpetrated by white dudes. But guess who they blamed? Black people. Black people was treating us bad during COVID. And then when they talk about during COVID, you have to read the fine print. Many of them during COVID, it wasn't just hate crimes. They were considered hate incidents. So many of them was just people saying, hey, man, if you don't like it here, won't you go back to China? In San Francisco, 2 young black teens were arrested and charged with a hate crime for telling a Chinese person to go back to China. How many times have black Americans been told to go back to Africa? We've never been to Africa. But still, if somebody say, go back to Africa, you sub-Saharan savage, you low IQ, right? No one cares. That's not xenophobic because they try to say, well, y'all is African. So no, we're not African. And I've never been to Africa. But meanwhile, these Chinese people, many of them still have thick accents. Many of them were born in China. Many of them actually immigrated to America. So you could say go back to China and it would be legit because they're from China. So they actually came from China. We didn't come from Africa. We came from here. Our motherland, our homeland is here. Then people try to get into, well, your genetics and phenotype and all this other stuff. Well, I have European genetics, but I'm not European. There's Europeans with African genetics and they're not African. So how far do you want to play this game?
Just go around saying stuff because black Americans didn't go around doing nothing to y'all during C-19. In fact, you used our support from the Black Caucus to get protections for yourself that our own caucus didn't even get for us. Yeah, they joined in with.
Again, they're over here talking about support. They had support. The movers and shakers of society, the buck broken, brain dead, bozo boule, they supposed to be helping the black community. They're called the Congressional Black Caucus, but what they are is the Congressional Immigrant Caucus, where they try to fight and crash out for immigrants, anyone that's non-black. That's who they're there for. So the Congressional Black Caucus was fighting for Asians, for them to get millions and millions of dollars allocated to their community to stop Asian hate, right? But no Latino caucus was stepping up to help us. No Asian caucus stepped up to help us. Name the Asian version of Malcolm X. Name the Asian version of Fred Hampton. Name the Asian version of MLK. Don't worry, I'll wait. Who is the Asian Fannie Lou Hamer?
Y'all, they allowed y'all to use our so-called representation, which is supposed to be them, to get everything y'all wanted. Money for yourself and protection for yourself. While we got nothing. So what are you talking about? Nah, what they're upset about is the jig is up. And no, we didn't hurt y'all. We helped y'all. We're the reason why you even have a business open. Nobody was supporting your business like that. It was us.
When I got jumped by 5 black people, did you put out a statement? Did you speak out for me? When all the...
And no one knows that if that's true. I got jumped by 5 black people. Okay, there's 5. Let's just say it's true, right? He got jumped by 5 black people. Okay. So more than 5 Asians have been racist to me. Right. So, but just if we're just playing the numbers game, right? He was jumped by 5 black people. So he wants to project that onto the black community. but more than 20 Asian people have been racist to me. So should I project that on the entire Asian community? And then just saying that they jumped him. What did they jump you for? Were you talking silly? Did you F around and find out? Because he's just acting like they were like, look at that Asian guy over there. Let's jump him. Get him, guys. Like, come on, bruh. Nobody thinks that happened. And just simply saying that you got jumped with no context, like, who was it? Was it some YNs? Like, was you running your mouth? Did your mouth write a check that your booty couldn't cash? Like, him just saying this with no context, it doesn't mean anything. And it's just disgusting and anti-black, right? He's talking about, did you guys ride for me? How could we ride for you? Maybe the black community would have rode for you. Like, if there was just some random black dudes going around attacking Asians, the black community wouldn't stand for that. We would say, hey, no, we don't support that. Like, yeah, we're against the anti-black hurry up and buy types, but someone that's just Asian living their life peacefully, we don't look and say, hey, go target them just because they're Asian. That's not in our culture at all. So this dude is kind of just lying.
Looting that was happening. Did you speak out for all those businesses that suffered?
And then he's talking about looting all those businesses. When he says all those, if people are saying all those businesses suffered, they should, name 5. Because this is what people like to do. All these businesses got burnt down and this whole town. Well, if it's all these businesses, right, you should be able to name easily 3 to 5, but they can't even name one. All they just say, BLM, they burnt down the city. What city was burnt down? They can't point to any city that was burnt down. Then they start saying, well, this and that was burnt down. And then they talk about these businesses. Well, many of those businesses were anti-black. Many of those businesses weren't even black businesses. And many of those community establishments weren't even like burnt down or looted by black people. The majority of people out there in those protests were white. So what people want to convince you is that the majority of the people in the protests were white, but all the people doing the destruction were black. There were countless videos of non-black people masked up, spraying BLM and other inflammatory stuff. And there were black people saying, hey, bruh, stop doing that. You making us look bad. It was outside agitators doing that. And then when you look at all of that stuff, it was multiple groups out there. There were Trans Lives Matter out there. There were Free Palestine people out there. There were Antifa, Proud Boys. There were a lot of different factions out there, and they were causing a lot of mayhem and chaos, but it all got framed to the black community. The majority of the black community didn't go out there because they knew that those protests weren't going to change anything. And guess what? Those protests didn't change anything. All it changed was more people talking about wokeness, and then they pretended to pander by having some DEI, but they created a DEI program that benefits mainly white people, just like affirmative action. And Tara says, Americans need to stop falling for the tribal cultural wars and get it together. Yeah, this is why I talk about many of the issues that I talk about, is because you're not going to get it together by still holding these bigoted views and holding these anti-black views, right? So the black community has been willing to come together with every group. That's just why when they bring immigrants over, the white community says, hey, we don't want you guys over here. So they dump them in the black community. And rather than the immigrants saying that, damn, the white people don't want us near them, they start looking at the black community and say, hey, we're better than y'all. It's like, how, right? You know what I mean? You're coming over here getting goodies, giveaways, and guarantees that we were denied, but somehow you think you're better than us. Then it will be some doctor that immigrated from India, and then they're comparing a doctor who immigrated from India to some poor dude in Chicago. And they're saying, see, look at this Indian doctor compared to some thug who grew up in a fatherless home. They're not coming over and comparing an Indian doctor to another black doctor. And shout out to Tara Sanchez. I like you too. Yeah, it's like, but back to the cultural wars too, right? Like, people got to drop the bigotry, right? It's okay to be proud of your racial and ethnic group. I don't mind people standing on business, for their ethnicity. If you're a proud Latina, Mexican, Honduran, Nigerian, it's a beautiful thing. I actually love for people to fly their flags and to make it explicit with what nation, which ethnic group they represent, because then we can have a more wholesome conversation instead of pretending like we're all the same. We're not. A jaguar looks like a leopard. If you go to a zoo exhibit and there's a jaguar and a leopard, and then you ask, hey, what are those cats? Oh, they're just the same cats. No, they're not. One of them is a leopard. One of them are a jaguar. They have distinct differences. And the only way for me to know that is by delineating, so I can separate and see, oh, a jaguar does this and this is their habitat. Oh, a leopard does this. This is their habitat, right? Now, if you do that on racial and ethnic lines, you should be able to understand that, right? There's a bunch of Cubanos. Cubans are considered Latino. Mexicans are considered Latino. Should I assume that Cubans love tacos just because they're Latino? And what Cubans are we talking about? Are we talking about the white Cubans in Florida? Or are we talking about the really dark black Cubanos in favelas, right? There's a distinction. And we're in the information age. We can get this information faster. We can disseminate it faster. We can organize it faster. So we don't have to pretend and use these umbrella terms to just describe one person. They're Latino. Like, Who the hell are you talking about? Are you talking about Mexicans or Puerto Ricans or Brazilians? Who are you talking about? Those videos they showed of blacks beating up Asian look like blacks from other countries. Matter of fact, maybe these attacks took place in other countries. Well, a lot of those videos did take place in other countries, but they were just viral videos sharing around. And many of those blacks were not foundational black American freedmen, which I was saying sometimes it was immigrant on immigrant crime because immigrants live in other immigrant enclaves, right? So there would be some African immigrant fighting with a Chinese immigrant, and then they'll say, oh, see, the black community hates Asians. No, that was just some random Jamaican immigrant who got into it with some random Vietnamese immigrant. It wasn't about black people hating Asians. It was a personal beef and spat, you know what I mean? And again, many of those were actually mutual combat. Like the Asians said something offensive, epithet, and then they get they behind whipped, right? So because they got their butt whipped, then it turned into Asian hate. No, it's just like learn how to squabble. You feel me? Squabble up. It's like you didn't have hands. That wasn't about the black community hating you. The black community fights each other all the time. The white community fights each other all the time. So people got this misconception that blacks are supposed to fight blacks, but then they're supposed to give Asians a pass. No, if a black dude will smack another black dude, why the hell wouldn't he smack an Asian dude or a white person? It's funny because if he smacked the black dude, what about black on black crime? And then the same black dude who will smack a black dude, he smacks an Asian. Stop Asian hate. It's just like, come on, bruh. Cue the tiny violin.
I'm going to say again that I say in every single video.
How many machines does your home gym really need?
All you want. That's not my problem. It's your right to boycott. It's your right to spend your money however you want.
Again, he said, boycott all you want. That's not my problem. Okay, then shut up. There's nothing to see here. And as a matter of fact, hey, bro, because, hey, this little portly, pompous Asian dude, do me a favor.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Please shut up, because he's over here saying, hey, it ain't an issue with y'all boycott all y'all want. If it's not an issue, then why are you making this content, right? It's just almost like when somebody says, hey, no disrespect, and then they say something disrespectful after. Why'd you even say no disrespect when you knew you were going to disrespect us after? He's saying, hey, I don't care about the boycott. Then he proceeds to make a video whining about why he cares about the boycott. If you don't care about the boycott, just shut up. Right? Just let us do our thing. No one is saying that, hey, Asians should be beat down, brutalized, and attacked in the streets. All we're saying is that we should practice group economics like every other group does. Right? All the things that we're talking about, we're late to the party. We're late to the delineation party, right? Chinese people don't go around saying we all Asian, so we all the same. Chinese people don't go around saying Koreans are Asian, we're the same. Japanese are Asian, we're the same. Filipinos are Asian, we're the same. Asians don't do that. There's over 560 plus federally recognized native tribes. None of them say that they're the same. Hasidic Jews don't go around saying they're the same as Sephardic Jews. Sephardic Jews don't go around saying they're the same as Ashkenazi. But suddenly, foundational Black Americans are supposed to say, I'm the same as a Jamaican. I'm the same as a Nigerian. I'm the same as a Ghanaian. I'm the same as someone from Rwanda, right? We're all supposed to be the same based on our skin pigment, right? But there's a bunch of Asians that have the same skin pigment as white people. So it doesn't make any sense. If some random person has the same level of melanin, hey, he's Black, just like you. But if there's a Latino and a white person that has a lighter complexion than a white person, hey, don't call them Black. Don't call them white. You better not call them white. Well, based on their skin tone and their phenotypes, they're white. No. Race is a social construct. Okay, so is ethnicity. Ethnicity is a social construct. So you want me to dismiss race because it's a social construct, but then you want me to uplift ethnicity, which is another social construct. Huh? Make it make sense.
Just don't hurt innocent businesses that has nothing to do with it just because it's owned by Asians. I cannot be any more clear.
Please shut up.
And I quote, you know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
No one is boycotting businesses just because they're Asian. They're boycotting the businesses because they have a history of anti-Blackness and they might happen to be Asian, which is why I support a blackout. I don't support here targeting Asians because, hey, you may have done some good business with the Filipino business in your neighborhood. So don't simply boycott them just because, hey, Filipinos are Asians. I'm mad at the Chinese and Koreans, so I'm going to take it out on the Filipinos. I don't support that. However, if the Filipinos, which some of them do, have a history of being anti-Black, then boycott that business. And actually don't boycott it. Ban that business. I'm never shopping with this business. Not because you're Asian, not because you have a particular ethnicity. It's because you're anti-Black. And this isn't about any racial or ethnic group. Boycott and ban the Sambos. If Officer Tatum had a shop, then you should be banning that shop. That shop should be excommunicado. I ain't shopping with no Sambo like Officer Tatum or Jesse Lee Peterson or Kuntan Daniels or Charleston White. These people need to be excommunicado, right? They're not Asian, right? So while I do understand the sentiments of the Asian boycott, I think some of the rhetoric is coming off as misguided. So just my position and perspective on that. Let's get back into it.
Than this.
And I cannot be more clear than this. Black people are not listening to you, nor will Black people sit up here and argue with you, debate with you, and play victim Olympics. What I see Black people doing right now is speaking with their wallets, speaking with their feet, and it's not too much talking going on. Yeah, in my everyday life, I don't hear anybody actually saying anything, but I am noticing their actions. Oh yeah, I see that very clear. Every day I'm checking these businesses out, and they're definitely on life support right now. That's the truth. Nobody's having the secret Black meeting anywhere. I think Black...
Yeah, to be honest, many of us, we ain't really talking. We don't do much talking, you feel me? I don't do the speaking, you feel me? I just proceed to handle business, stand on business. But what this shows you is that Asians are not really supporting Asian businesses like that, because there's a bunch of tribalism, there's a bunch of separatism, and people, their groups don't have allies, they have interests. There's a reason, again, why it's called Chinatown. It's not called Asia Town. Koreans are not trying to make Chinatown flourish. Now, doesn't mean that they want to see Chinatown disenfranchised. It means that, hey, Chinatown is Chinatown. We're Koreatown, so that's what we care about. They're not looking, to try to create the Asian Voltron, which is why they have separate enclaves, right? But they're both Asian. So again, there's not a bunch of Koreans that are going to overly be patrons to Chinese businesses, right? Because they look at that the money that's going into the Chinese community could have went into the Korean community. So they're going to keep those dollars circulating within their community. And then occasionally, if they're in a Chinese neighborhood, then occasionally, they'll spend some money there. But they make a concerted and conscientious effort to make sure that they don't. And no one considers, that xenophobic or anything. They say, hey, they got to protect their interests in self-preservation. So then when we say the same thing too, which we're in a worse position, right? Hey, look, there's a bunch of Asian restaurants here. And look, all you got to do is just cook that food at home. Whatever you loved from the Asian food. Oh, I love the fried rice and the orange chicken. Start making that at home for cheaper. If you know there's a good chef in the Black community, say, hey, look, man, I got EBT. I'll buy the ingredients and you whip up the food and stuff like that, right? That'll save you some money and you'll be able to build with your community. You building up another community that is openly hostile towards you does nothing for enfranchisement of the community, right? But like all of these people that love to say, oh, this group is the model minority, then why aren't they there? Why aren't they spending money with them? Right? The white community didn't want Asians infringing in their neighborhoods, right? They said, no, this is a white neighborhood. So these businesses and this money and economy is for white folks. Go over there to where the niggas are, and see if you can hustle and bustle over there, right? And unfortunately, many Asians and other groups, they saw the hood as an extraction process. Let's extract the money and resources here, and then let's go live next to white mommy and daddy, even though they hate us, right? But hey, if we marry them, if we have interracial mating and dating relationships, then maybe they'll accept us. And no, they still don't accept you, right? But unfortunately, many in the Asian community and other communities think if they just kiss enough white booty harder that they'll be accepted.
Americans should see what time it is. So nobody's out here debating and tongue wrestling with y'all.
Here's the thing though, we don't have to hate you to boycott your businesses. This is not about hate. This is not about hating y'all. We don't give a damn about you at all, as a matter of fact. But just the sheer principle of you saying that, that we need you and that, y'all don't want us in your businesses when we're the only ones who patronize your business, because I don't see no white people there. But yeah, that's cool. We definitely gonna be keeping y'all out. We're banning y'all from our communities going forward. So yeah, good luck with that.
I have seen more Asian Americans being upset at the fact that Black Americans are threatening to boycott Asian businesses than I have seen Asian Americans speaking out against the murder of Cyrus Carmick Belton, a child who was murdered at the hands of an Asian man. And this has everything to do with race, especially when anti-Blackness is so deeply rooted in our community. I have said this a million times, and I'll say it as many times as I need to so you can get it through your thick skulls. The only reason why Asians exist in America in such a large population is because Black activists fought for our right to be here during the Civil Rights Movement. White people did not want us here. It's not enough for Asian people to just be not racist. You have to be anti-racist, and you have to be speaking out against these injustices, or else they'll continue to happen. We absolutely owe the Black community solidarity, and the sooner that we realize that we're not much different from each other is the sooner that real change starts to happen.
Papa's hungry!
So salute to that Asian lady right there. Now, when she said we're not much different than each other, well, that's up for debate. I have to know the context and what she means by that, because we are definitely different in terms of our struggle on this land, our contribution, us being foundational to this land. Doesn't mean that we're better simply because we have a different lineage, but it's not the same, right? Now, same means identical. Now, there are aspects where people can say, hey, this particular struggle or this incident or occurrence was similar, but not the same. And Roger says, don't hurt Asian businesses just because they're Asian. You're not entitled to our dollar. We go where we wish. We patronize who we wish. However, they do have an Asian places in my community, but it's not your regular cheap takeout joint. Okay, what type of joint is it? But yeah, we go where we wish. We patronize who we wish. And before, we were spending dollars with y'all, not because, you know, like we desperately needed y'all. It's just like we're not haters like that, right? We were looking under this whole colorblind utopia. We were seeing each other as POCs and minorities. I never did, but the collective community did. Because we thought that, hey, having these other non-white people, other ethnic groups would be a boon and a boost to Black society, right? We will be able to push forward our agenda. We will be able to have reinforcements on the civil rights. But no, many of these people talk about civil rights in a disparaging way, but if we didn't stand on business for civil rights, they wouldn't even be here. And all of the people that think that, oh, the civil rights and MLK was overblown, I just asked a simple question. Who was the MLK of their neighborhood? If MLK was so bad, who was the public figure, the public activist of their ethnic group that could hold a candle to MLK? If you don't like MLK, then talk about Fred Hampton. You can talk about a litany of foundational Black American activists, but who are the litany of Asian activists that you know? Could you name one? And then when you name them, could you say that they weren't anti-Black? Like Gandhi, who was very anti-Black, right? So all of the leaders that people try to prop up, they all got some dirt and smut on their name. So you're not in a position to be criticizing our foundational Black American leaders. But there is a Lily W. man, and he has a PSA for the Asians. He says, white people never been your friends, but the Black community has. Now, the Black community has been a friend to the Asian community. And you know what? They turned around and said, kiss our behind where the sun don't shine. And once they did that, white people called them the model minority and kicked them to the curb and say, you know what? Hey, you know what? We're going to do a Chinese Exclusion Act. We're going to talk about yellow peril, right? We're going to do Japanese internment. We're going to drop a bomb on you, an atomic bomb. And after all that, the Asians still said, white mommy and daddy, I love you. I love you and I hate the Blacks. Okay. You said it's not just a cheap takeout joint. It'll be some really big fancy restaurant you take the family to. Got you. All right, let's see what the white person has to say. He says Asians, white people are not your friends. So all that pale booty you kissing, let's see what they got to say.
Online, I've been meaning to address it. And yeah, so there's been certain Asian people on here. And I know that they do not represent the entire Asian community when I say this. So anyone in the Asian community that's been following what I'm saying, that supports what I'm saying, that supports rights and freedom and just, you know, good vibes for all, this ain't aimed at y'all. So hopefully y'all don't take offense to this. But for those in the Asian community that are going after the Black community, y'all need to stop. Okay? Y'all need to stop showing out for because they are not y'all's friends. Last time I checked, are the only people that have never dropped an atomic bomb on Japan. They're the only people that have dropped Agent Orange on Vietnam. They're the only people that did the My Lai massacre. And that's just off the top of my head. So white people are not y'all's friends. They have never been. Have never been y'all's friends. But the black community has had y'all's backs. Like any rights y'all have is because of the rights that Black America fought for. So y'all need to really recalibrate who's on your side, who's had y'all's backs, and who's y'all's enemies.
Stop wasting money on ChatGPT, Midjourney, or Ideogram for print on demand. Here's what...
Because white people are not y'all's friends. They never have been. And unless there's a major changes in white culture, they're going to keep going and do the same thing they've always been doing. And y'all going to be catching the brunt end of it just along with everyone else that isn't them. So, just let y'all know.
It's definitely true that we've helped them in more ways than one. They come to this country, open their businesses in our neighborhoods. We put money in their pockets and take the money back to their community. We help them get protection that we don't even have for us, which is where I have a problem with the Black Caucus. So no, I don't see many people using their energy being angry about it. They're just doing something about it. I see people definitely changing habits. They're moving different and they're not saying much at all. But yeah, like I said before, the people that's supposed to be representing us, the Congressional Do Nothing Black Caucus, they're being held accountable too, because those people in those seats, they're in there working for everybody except for us. And politically, no one's been in the way of Black people more than the Black Caucus. And sure, we have a lot of enemies, obviously, but it's the ones that's supposed to be within that's destroying Black people the most because they're the ones playing in our faces while at the same time serving us up on a platter. Yeah, they're sitting up in Congress taking millions for themselves and their families, selling us out straight up.
And I concur. The Congressional Black Caucus, or the Congressional Black Caucus has sold us up the river. So when you got roly-poly Martin, swollen rolling, rotund Martin, talking about the Black Caucus will be wiped out, you know what? I don't give a flying fig Newton if the Black Caucus gets wiped out because they're not doing anything for us. You know who should be crashing out that the Black Caucus might get wiped out? Immigrants and undocumented citizens, because that's who they've been fighting for. Trans people and LGBT people is who should be crashing out and saving the Congressional Black Caucus, because they have done nothing for the foundational Black American community. And many of them are just a bunch of immigrants now. Damn near half of the Congressional Black Caucus, or actually over half of it, is a bunch of immigrants. And they're tethers at that. They're not tethers because they're immigrants. They're tethers because they're cosplaying, pretending to come from the lineage, be of and be for the lineage, but they have a different ethnic and cultural background, and they're working to undermine the foundational Native indigenous population. So there's nothing to respect about that. There's nothing to champion about that. So if they lose their seats, good riddance. They weren't there to save us anyways. Now, Roger says the Black community will have the cheap Chinese takeout joints. White communities will have the fancy, really big, take your family to sit down Asian restaurants serving hibachi, sushi, Kobe beef, the type where they will come up and slice up the beef and cook it right there at your table in front of you in the white neighborhoods. Yeah, correct. Yep, and it costs $57 a person, and they do that. It costs $57 a person to price out the niggas, and they say, hey, anybody could come. You just got to be able to afford $57 a person. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's kind of what they do with the neighborhoods when they price you out. Hey, rent is going to be $4,500. Yeah, anyone could rent here, but they know that the likelihood of a Black person having the money and willing to pay $4,500 or $5,500 for rent, they know the likelihood are very slim. So they know that, hey, look, we'll get a bunch of non-Black people to rent here. And then they try to say, hey, it's not about color, it's about culture, right? But they don't talk about their culture of anti-Blackness. So I'm gonna get ready to shut her down. Let me just play one more thing. I may come back later, but I know my boy Big Rig is gonna go live in a couple hours, so I'm probably gonna be over there. But depending on the response to this stream, you know, who knows? I may come back in a couple hours and rock out again. But I did just want to come in and touch bases with the people. So before I get up out of here, let me hit y'all with some scholarship. So let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Give me uno momento. Just in case y'all can't see this, hold up. I'm gonna make the screen bigger. But don't worry, it's gonna be story time with B-Eazy, right? So let me pull this down and we will be ready to shut her down. Okay. Now, a lot of people are really upset about the boycott, even though I said it should be a ban instead of a boycott, but you know, let's get into it, right? Now, I understand this is a deeply frustrating situation to be in when a community experiences systemic disrespect or outright hatred from another group. The instinct to take immediate collective action is entirely justified. It's about dignity, self-respect, and protecting your peace and resources. There isn't a single correct answer, but communities generally weigh two primary strategies: building economic autonomy, going your separate ways, versus active financial pressure, boycotts and bans. So number one, the disinvestment in autonomy, going your separate ways. Now, this approach is less about changing the other community's behavior and more about withdrawing your energy and building your own power. If a group does not respect you, continuing to fund them means your hard-earned money is directly supporting a system or a business that devalues you. Now, the power of economic autonomy. Instead of spending money where it isn't respected or appreciated, that capital is redirected into your own community's businesses, creators, and institutions. This keeps wealth circulating locally and builds long-term independence. The psychological benefit. It moves the community out of a defensive posture, please respect us, into a proactive, self-determined posture. We don't need you. We all we got and we all we need. Now, the trade-off, building entirely parallel systems like finding new suppliers, venues, or platforms takes time, coordination, and initial sacrifice. It requires active community organizing to ensure everyone knows where to redirect their support. Mutual aid, informing people, right? If people love Chinese food so much, right, you got to tell the people, hey, bro, I know y'all love Chinese. Hey, Jamal up the street, man, he be making plates. Hey, you know, Tylisha from 7th Street, she do nails. You know what I mean? So creating that infrastructure. So whatever you're supporting, find a way to recreate that in a way that is beneficial to the community so that the dollars are circulating. Now, the boycotts versus the bans, direct accountability. If the goal is to force change in behavior, signal that hate has a cost, or protect a wider space, communities look toward boycotts or bans. They sound familiar, but they operate differently. Boycotts. Economic pressure. A boycott is a collective, organized refusal to buy from or engage with a specific entity until they change a policy or behavior. Why they work. Money speaks, money talks. When a business or a group sees a massive hit to their bottom line, they often are forced to issue apologies, fire problematic leadership, or change their practices. Historically speaking, boycotts are incredibly powerful social tools that have clear targets, specific demands, and sustained execution. Bans are boundary setting. Banning involves completely removing a hateful group or individual from your spaces, platforms, or events. Why they work. It draws a hard line in the sand. It sends a clear message that certain behaviors are intolerable and protects your community members from further toxic exposure. It creates a safe harbor. The limitation: you can only ban people from spaces you control. You cannot easily ban a group from a public space or their own platforms, which is where a boycott or separate path comes into play. So instead of a ban or boycott, how about you ban and boycott simultaneously? Now, strategic comparison, right? So the separate ways, autonomy, the primary goal is self-preservation and building independent community with wealth. Is best used when the disrespect is deeply ingrained and the other group has no desire to change. And these other groups have no desire to change, but you teach people how to treat you, right? If you allow them to continually disrespect and disparage you, then why would they change? Now, once you force them to change based on your behavioral change, then they have no other choice but to succumb to the pressure or, just stay on an island separate and apart from us. Either way, we're winning. The approach: boycott, pressure, forcing an institutional change or systemic apology. The target relies heavily on your community's money to survive and is vulnerable to public pressure. Banning is exclusion, protecting the eternal community spaces from toxicity. Hateful individuals or groups are actively trying to enter, disrupt, or profit from your specific spaces. They're always trying to enter. You don't got to let them in. Just like sinners, you don't got to let them in. So framing the next steps. When you're deciding on how to move forward, it usually helps the community leadership team to ask 3 questions. What is your immediate goal? Is it to fix the relationship? Boycott, protect our peace right now, ban, or build long-term independence so we never have to deal with them again? Separate ways. What is our immediate goal? Number 2, where is our leverage? Does this other community actually rely on our business? If they don't care about our money, a boycott won't move them, but going our separate ways will still protect our dignity. Well, if they didn't care about our money, then they wouldn't be whining about it, right? So either way, we still win. If they don't care about our money, then fine, they shouldn't have any issue if we ban and boycott them. And then if they do care about our money, then a ban and a boycott is needed because you got to put some respect on your name, on your community, and on your leverage, right? Do we have the infrastructure to pivot? If we stop giving them our business tomorrow, do we have alternative Black-owned, local, or aligned businesses ready to take their place? Or do we need to build those alternatives first? Yes, we should have built some. So we should have some already built. The ones that are not built, it's a simultaneous process, right? As you're banning and boycotting, that energy into banning and boycotting needs to just be very simple. Okay, we ban it and boycott it, and then the energy and the focus needs to shift into building. You ban, boycott, and build, right? So, okay, I banned, I boycotted, now I'm building, right? I used to love going and getting orange chicken, right? Now I'm building the infrastructure to make my own fried rice, orange chicken, and stuff like that. I used to go and get my nails done. Now I'm building the apparatus for me to continuously get my nails done or do other people's nails, right? So whatever you think that you need them for, you've already have a blueprint of what you need to create, right? And you don't have to create everything, but get with other people who could create, right? If Big Mama down the street makes good plates and say, hey, Big Mama, how about this? How about you just do First Fridays and then, we buy the food and then, you whip up something for the neighborhood every Friday, or, it could be multiple days out the week, right? There's no gun to your head stopping you, right? You can do this right now, right? There should be someone in your neighborhood that will be willing to have a community garden. Not everybody has the space. Somebody in your neighborhood has the space, right? And then you say, hey, look, you'll have the house for the community garden. I got some, I got some young men, some YMs, young men, or I got some YNs, some young niggas, right? And they'll be the enforcement arm, right? Niggas like to fight and shit, right? Okay, fine. They'll fight anybody that tried to run up in this community garden. They'll fight anybody that try to vandalize his daycare, right? If they're already fighting in an enforcer mode, then give them something to enforce and give them money and give them a safe place, to show that, hey, we appreciate your efforts, right? They say it takes a village, right? But the whole village is not doing the same thing. Somebody in the village is babysitting. Somebody in the village is cooking. Somebody in the village is doing carpentry, right? So, yeah. The most powerful move is a hybrid. Ban them from your spaces immediately to protect your people and quietly begin shifting your economic power to go your separate ways, starving the hateful group of the resources your community provides. Again, this isn't about hatred. This is about cultural preservation. This is about ethnic survival. And again, all other groups do this. All other groups do this. So we're actually late to the party. We've done this before, but many of us got caught into the cultural confusion, believing we live in a colorblind utopia. We're all minorities and marginalized groups and underserved communities, and we all black. We've been doing the flat blackness, the flat minority, the flat marginalized group. And where the heck has it gotten us? So you said certified. Yep. Salute. Yeah, I appreciate you, Cloudness, especially for sticking around. I know these topics ain't always the sexiest, but at the same time, these are the type of conversations that we need to hear. I know that if I invite people on my panel to yell, if I call black women bitches and say that they just a bunch of hoes twerking in bonnets at Walmart, and black men ain't ish, and you know what I mean? Y'all niggas need to stay in the home and stop being jailbirds. I probably would have like 2,000 subs by now, 300 live viewers, but at what expense? Yeah, long-term independence. That's why I'm about all three, the triple B. Ban, hold on. Boycott, ban, build. So salute to Cloudness, salute to the fam. And First Fridays, and I'm actually about to shut it down. So I'm actually gonna do this because it's like 6:30 over here. If anybody wants to just come and say a piece, I'll just drop the link. I'm gonna play a quick visual. The visual is only like 1 minute, and it's okay. Like if y'all are unavailable and don't want to come up right now, it's okay. I will, I may come back later, but if not, I can definitely come back tomorrow and hit y'all with a stream. So if anybody wants to come and give a opening and closing, y'all can join the link, just no trolls. I'm just going to play this visual for 1 minute. And if nobody hits the link, then I'm going to get ready to shut her down. But I do want to appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. Y'all chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. So the link is in the chat. If anybody wants to come up, just to chop it for a minute. If not, then I'm going to just shut it down. So give me uno momento and I'll be back.
That is nasty, bro, like a nasty. Oh, I got a nasty flow. My baddie, though, is a classy bro. I manage her and she escort. International exports. I got hardware, my tech support. Really about that business, cause I'm that dude that you just adore. Used to be on that block, equipped with a Glock. I sold all kind of dope. 10 toes down on the pavement. I send that bitch like an envelope. Enclosed with a love letter. I love cheddar, so I grind hard. I be putting that work in, but I ain't punching no time card when it comes to being a boss, nigga. I am the epitome. You keep hating, belly aching, but it takes more to get rid of me. I am full of energy, but I ain't feeling jittery. I'm just grinding, shining like a diamond, looking glittery. Literally, I just left the bank to deposit racks. Holla back, don't want no shoes and clothes.
still be rocking Jordans, but I prefer Giuseppe. Okay, so it looks like nobody hit the link, and that's all good. So I'm gonna get ready to shut her down. So all I'm gonna do is play a series of some quick visuals, and then I will be up out of here. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And before, if you are loving the content, guess what? For you to comment, for you to share, for you to like the stream, it won't cost you a fee. The likes are free. Now, if you are feeling generous and you want to make a financial contribution, then you can hit me on the Cash App.
If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and smash that. If you're feeling generous, then you can hit the Cash App. $ easy stack. It's easy to remember. All them donations that you contribute make it feel like it's the 25th of December. Hit the Cash App. It's preferred over Super Chat because YouTube takes 30% off the top, and that's stupid whack. So if you want to see growth and watch the content get greater, send a Cash App to B-Eazy Dat Dude.
Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy Dat Dude, yeah. Shit so hot it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. It's a lot of niggas that say they real, but to me that shit is far-fetched. Them cats is pussy. They really is on some feminine stuff. I rock up on them with the 40 ounces. It's a definition of adrenaline rush. What it do is sweet like cinnamon puffer. My niggas is rough like Willow Pass. Grew up out on Mary Mac, but I used to hang on Willow Pass. These firms that I roll with, Outcasts and Misfits. For the zip lips so you get hit when the fifth spit. Flat line in your Fitbit. Trap habits is black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like Buku. For the cocaine to go cuckoo. Most these niggas is foo-foo, so I'm shitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu. I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on Chirac and then fly back out to Milwaukee. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
Ay, we all like B-Eazy. Nah, matter of fact, we love B-Eazy. Believe me, he really that dude. So B-Eazy, tell me how it feel. Ooh, tell me how it feel to be real, to be real, to be really that dude. B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude, B-Eazy, he is the one that you can call so he can get the job done. He about to reign supreme if you thought his run would soon end. He just getting started though, so go ahead and tune in. B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, he is that dude. You ain't know, that's just B-Eazy. Ay, that's just B-Eazy, that dude. Is that dude? You hear me? You feel
That's just B-Eazy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude. Ooh, B-Eazy that dude,
Ooh, be easy. He's styling and profiling, fresher than a mannequin.
Hey, yo, who's that? Mama, there go that man again.
He the one who get the block booming and make the trap move. I'm still trying to figure out who is that dude.
Oh, you ain't know.
That's just B-Eazy, B-Eazy that dude. B-Eazy, he is that dude, so you gotta let him cook. He be going dumb off the hook, got all them haters shook. He a king, you a rook, so don't ever start tripping, get it twisted or mistook. Be-Eazy Dat Dude, boy stop playing. You know you dat dude and been dat dude. Back in the day, he was that dude. Fast forward to today, he's still that dude. Yup, that dude. You can see as clear as day that he here to stay. Either get with the program or move out the way. Ooh. Be-Eazy Dat Dude, he back with another one, another one, another one, another one.
If you feel the vibe, like, share, and subscribe. We growing on this journey. Come and take a ride. If you wanna slide with that dude, be easy. We going all the way to the top, believe me. All the way to the top, believe me.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Follow. Be easy. You know you want to.
We're waiting. You love me. You really love me. No problem, liver.
Yeah.